Hey!
Poop pile.
Hello, and welcome to our next session of Out of the Abyss.
Woo!
Yeah. Tragically down to Caleb, but we're gonna play anyways.
That's what the cookies.
Yep, that is why there's no cookies.
No.
Tragic.
Yeah, no, sad.
That's
The bard
real problem.
and the baker. Yeah, so the last time we played, you guys were sort of exploring more of Blingdenstone. You spent some time shopping. You met Dendru, one of Jim Jar's contacts from his earlier in his life, not his former life, but from earlier days, and talked wares a bit. Nero bought a cloak of protection, and while you were shopping, or while you were in the Trader's Grotto, a gelatinous cube appeared out of nowhere from the Goldwhisker Warren's cave-in, or one of the cave-ins that lead to the Goldwhisker Warrens. And you guys quickly and easily dispatched of it. I can't believe you would kill Globagool like that, but death stare. No, but after dispatching of that, you guys finished out the rest of the day doing some more shopping, doing some scouting of the Warrens, courtesy of Vera's Arcane Eye spell. And Bryn also made his way to the Caves of Clatter to requisition some silver weapons and supplies for the confrontation with the were-rats ahead.
Oh, what confrontation?
What? No.
Spoilers.
Probably also has nothing to do with the fact that like one of you is definitely lycanthropic and another one of you might be.
Nah.
It's probably fine. But yeah, so we ended up with everyone back to the foaming bug, and we long rested. So we'll pick up the following morning, unless there's anything specific you guys wanted to do in the night before you went to bed.
There is one thing I'd like to do. I would simply like to take out my vial of acid and put my displacer tentacles within.
Okay, so you want to start that process?
Yeah, it takes at least a night, so I'm going to let that simmer.
Okay. So the way we're gonna do your amulet upgrade work is basically going to be like a solo skill challenge for you.
Okay.
For the various portions of it. So for that first step being working with the acid and everything. But I guess we'll do it the normal way. So sort of you tell me what skill you want to use and how you are using it to accomplish, I guess, each steps of these. What?
And I can't reuse skills?
You can't reuse skills. I don't know, unless it like
Maybe in the same day. Maybe day by day you could reuse the skill.
you can also so there's also other tools that you don't technically have but that you can use, like your abilities with alchemy. You're not proficient with an alchemist's supplies kit necessarily, but like you could reasonably make an alchemy check for this part.
Right. Which I think is that an intellect check? Or is that a...
That would be intelligence, yes.
Okay. Alright, so for this... So step one is just to dissolve this in acid. Acrobatics.
That makes sense.
I deceive the bottle into believing it's melted. Let's see.
Persuade the...
Medicine.
Yeah, I think medicine might be bad. Or maybe...
Religion.
I pray that it works.
Nature. Nature's not bad.
So how many... Can I ask how many steps there are?
5.
5? Okay. So I have... I wasn't sure which steps count.
No, I basically took it straight from the method, like the steps that you were
Okay.
telling me you were gonna do.
Okay. So for this, I'm going to make it all about making sure that I combine the right amount of the tentacle flesh with the right amount of the acid, so that the ratio's right, and
Okay.
that I don't end up with extra acidity or undissolved pieces of the flesh. So I think for that, I think medicine makes the most sense. It's not my best roll, but there is no knowledge on science or chemistry.
Right. Well, no, that's what. Yeah, it would just be like an intelligence check, sort of. So if it's
if it's just intelligence, that's better.
well, no, that's what I was saying with like alchemist's supplies. Even though you're not proficient with it,
Oh, I'll do that then.
it would just yeah.
Okay, I'll do that. That makes more sense.
You didn't roll in the box?
Damn it! I'm gonna do over.
Roll in the box.
Mercy.
Box of
Yeah.
letters.
You didn't even know the
One
Oh
better.
wow!
8.
8. Okay.
It was gonna be a 7.
Well, we'll see how that turns out in the morning.
Good thing you got backup tentacles.
Yep.
Okay. So you put that to dissolve overnight. When you wake up in the morning, even though you felt like you had the ratios pretty spot on, you what?
I just put all my spell slots. I'm not supposed to do that. I think I did that right though. I think I'm okay.
What?
Yeah, you didn't use a ton the day before.
I think I kept
so
one left of them all, so I think I'm good.
That makes sense.
You don't
So
get
you
roll
wake
back
up in the
from
morning, and you find that
more.
the tentacle that you had used for this part of the procedure, there was too much acid, not enough tentacle, and it just dissolved away entirely.
Oh, great.
So you can use a second tentacle, and again be more zeroed in on the ratios you need to
Yeah, I
do.
fucked that up.
But it took more of your primary material,
Sure.
to get this step
Did I use one
accomplished.
tentacle?
so it'll end up taking 2
2.
tentacles.
Okay, let me try it again. Wait, there were 5 flares. One got destroyed by Yormik. So there were 8.
You had 8
2.
tentacles.
So I have 6 left. Oh wait, no, I used some for making leather. I only needed 1 for that. So I think I have 5 left.
That sounds about correct.
What the heck? I'm just putting it 5 tenths. 5 tenths. Okay. All right. Well, I'll try that in the mornings when I come back later and see if it's done.
Okay.
It is better.
It's better. 12.
12.
Yeah.
So it takes you 1 more before you get it right. But eventually you do find the right balance
Okay.
of acid to tentacle flesh. But all in all, this step will have consumed 3 of the tentacles. But
Okay.
you eventually end up with the crystalline, sort of rocky powder that you were hoping for.
Good. Okay. Okay. I will, in the interest of not making us all late for our activities today, I will put those off to the side, ready to crush into the finer powder for later, if that's not already done, and head downstairs to breakfast.
All right. Someone called Bill Nye.
Oh my gosh. Who said that?
Doug. Oh, that's great.
10 out of 10, Doug. 10 out of 10.
Cool. All right. So yeah, you guys head down for breakfast. It's just the lot of you.
Do I have more than 18 max HP?
You do.
Okay.
The long rest
Dude.
is enough to recover your stamina.
That would have been bad.
Yeah, that's a problem. That's not a lot of HP. Yeah, that's not like I get hit by stuff anyway. So.
Yeah, it's not like you insist on going first, despite having a 15
I'll
AC.
be in the room.
It's probably fine.
It's probably fine.
Probably fine.
You remember how I beat you in that drinking contest last night?
That did not happen. In fact, you lost.
You're breaking the rules of improv.
It's fine. I feel like that actually checks out. Yormik lies about something. Nero calls him a liar.
Right. It goes around and around.
Role playing, guys.
Right. So, what's the plan for today? Are we gonna kill all the rats, or are we gonna go? We should probably go see if we can become. Well, at least you, and maybe I can see if I'm also.
I feel that we should probably do that after we fight the were-rats, because if anybody else gets bit by were-rats, or we do...
That's a better idea. Yeah. I like that.
Just a thought. I would rather turn into a werewolf than a were-rat, if given the choice.
I think I can see the logic behind that. Where does that leave us for today?
I don't know, but first and foremost, Jim Jar. So what's this deal with you and Senny?
Well, we kind of used to, have a thing a long time ago. Yeah. She wanted to come back here, and I wasn't willing to risk it at the time, and clearly she was right, and it was something we could do, but yeah, it wasn't worth the risk.
So why didn't you tell her that you were here now?
Shame, I guess.
Checks out.
Jesus, Nero. Asking the personal questions.
Shame.
Hey man, you travel like several months with somebody and you finally find out something about them.
I mean, you could just say that you were on your way to follow her and then you got kidnapped by Drow, starting this whole chain of events. Like, you woke up the next day and you were like, man, I made a mistake. I'm going to follow the love of my life. And then you were swept away by the Drow. And then maybe she'll be so thrilled that you're back that she'll give us better rewards for these tasks.
He's pretty adept at lying. That's not a bad idea.
How long did you tell her, like, no, I'm never going back there? Or, like, what's the circumstance for you not coming back here?
I mean, I didn't say I would never come back. I just didn't feel like sticking my neck out for it. Let's just say she would probably be a little surprised to see me, but not surprised at all that it wasn't before now.
Because you were kidnapped by Drow. She figured that would happen.
It's not the worst idea I've ever heard.
I mean...
In fact, I honestly think it's a pretty good idea, given your circumstances.
Couldn't really hurt, probably.
What?
It probably couldn't hurt.
Yeah, she's not going to be more upset with you. She's already as mad as she's going to get. So if you lie and she finds out you're lying, what's there to lose? I mean, I see this as an absolute win.
And it's also not a lie. He was kidnapped by Drow.
Exactly.
For an indeterminate amount of time.
It's
Right.
true.
But she also knows Yormik, so maybe she will just like, oh, he is lying because that.
Well, I'm not going to tell her. He's going to tell her.
I meant Jim Jar.
Oh.
Maybe.
What do you mean Jim Jar doesn't lie?
Oh,
Where'd
you're
Jim
right,
Jar?
Jim Jar's pretty good at.
Does she...
Yeah,
Right.
I think Jim Jar just obfuscates the truth, which is a little different.
Ah, lying by omission.
Well, as long as he doesn't really screw it up, like, nobody can look in your head, right? Like, you have that thing where nobody can...
But except me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
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 It's a. Vera said it well, except me. He said, "No one can look inside your head," and I said, "Well, except me."
Wait, why can you look inside his
I
head?
can't. I'm just bullshit.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, what? Really? How? Even I didn't know.
So,
Is it racial? What is that?
So she can't figure it out through magic. I think you just saw a lie. I'm gonna be honest here, Jim Jar. I think you just gotta tell her that you were kidnapped by Drow. Not even lie, just tell her you were kidnapped by Drow and leave out the whole.
How long?
Right.
Maybe. We could also just, not see her again, or not have me see her while we're
Let's-
here, and then.
Well,
Aren't you gonna live here? There's only 300 people. Feels like it's gonna be you're gonna end up in a bar next to each other. She's gonna walk in. You're gonna make eye contact. It's gonna be real awkward.
We'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
that sounds like a worse idea. Just so you know, when we go collect whatever reward there is for us, you either won't get your cut, or you'll be there with us, and I'll point out that you're with us to her.
Perhaps it might not be a bad idea.
Brutal.
Man, being a werewolf really made you a dick.
It's probably not a bad idea to go see them. Is that where the guard is stationed as well? That maybe would have more information on where this ooze came from. That we killed in the plaza. Could find out more information to see if they've investigated where that came from.
You could talk to a number of guards, I guess. Do you have a specific one in mind that you're thinking of?
I was just gonna go to the leaders. I assumed they kind of ran the guard, but that's probably not correct.
they're sort of they're the de facto leaders of the town.
Right.
So I guess you
Nah.
tell them, yeah.
You guys want to go talk to the Digger Maddox about where the ooze came from, or do something else?
We could. We did. When I was scouting yesterday, I did see a place where it looked like there was a big pile of what equates to ooze food, I suppose.
Could he burn it?
Well, it looked like it might have been made of refuse, so probably.
I got you excited, didn't it?
I am extremely.
It might be
interested.
explosively flammable.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
Even better.
I would just want to be very far away.
Nah.
Mm-mm.
If you don't, you just be like, no.
Just be you thinking it's a good idea makes me even more cautious.
I think it's a great idea.
Oh, I'm scared.
We can do this.
Alright, so rats?
Rats. Are we gonna go to the rats today, or should we?
What are we
continue
gonna
to
do
scout?
today?
I'm not sure.
She
did
already
scout.
scouted. There's nothing else to do except for go and kill, I guess, talk to some rats.
That's an option.
But it's gonna turn into a fight, let's be real here.
Let's go. Perhaps let's see if there's been any activity about it. Maybe we go talk to the guards at the door, see if they heard anything about the ooze.
You were there when, Vera sent the Arcane Eye to scout
He wasn't
initially.
there. He wasn't there during the scouting.
But then we told them afterwards
Yes.
about it.
Yeah. We could go. We could just go in and. They died of fire, right? Or did we figure that out yet?
Didn't Bryn
I think so.
didn't Bryn say he was getting some silver for this?
He
occasion?
did. Yes.
Oh, yeah, no, we should definitely wait for my silver dagger, knife, sword, and bolts to get done before we go do this, I think.
When did she say they would be ready?
I think 2 days.
Big oof. Alright.
You know what's nice about fire? It's already silvered. That's not. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, so not the way we're at. So we fight the oozes today then.
Well, they're sort of in the same place.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm pretty sure they're in the same spot.
Sort of. Yes and no. If we go right, we would probably find oozes. If we go left, we would find the were-rats. But when we're here, there is a door between us and all of that. Once we go past the door, there is nothing stopping the were-rats from creeping up on us while we're dealing with the oozes. So, I don't know for sure if we go to take care of the ooze problem that we would also have a were-rat problem.
Well, I'm sure we would know where they were if we had a problem.
It's true. So that brings us back to the beginning of what do we do today.
Well, I've been tinkering away with my my necklace.
That's exciting. What do we do today?
I have time to kill.
We could go hunting. There's probably something to kill worth money.
You know what? Let's just go see Gurnik. There's something about catacombs and ghosts. So
It's another option.
let's do that and go from there.
Start there. Hunting's still on the table.
Alright. I'll hunt you.
And Bryn's just like, okay, I think I'm gonna go check out those singing stones today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tracks.
cool. So I'll see you guys later.
And break. Goodbye.
Everybody scatter.
Split the party.
Okay.
The party. Nothing's going to happen.
So do you
Brain
wanna
dies
We're
off
gonna
camera.
you wanna go with the next step of your
Sure.
amulet, and then we'll
Soup out.
catch up with these guys.
Do you
with
have the
Gurnik.
crystals? Oh, wait, they're right. No, crushing them to powder. That's probably a athletics, maybe, or
I would say this one you could do as a medicine check.
well, I can see how it would apply. Same sort of. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
okay. No, I don't have any bonus to this, but
See check.
I even would have let it work if you had if you had like brewer's tools or whatever. It's like I'm really good at making drinks and stuff. I'm a bartender in another
that
life.
wouldn't be too far. That's probably a pain in the ass to carry around.
Mm-hmm.
I do have calligrapher supplies, which
Making ink.
Can help with future things that you have on
yes,
this.
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I'll save that. I'll save that. I'll save
I
that.
can think of a couple distinct ones where that would be good for.
Can you
Exactly.
roll
A
in the
nine.
double
You
digits?
gotta
12?
change this dice.
It was rolling really well for me. It's an 8, but plus 2.
So 10.
Or medicine. Yeah, 10.
This dice.
That's a
Okay.
pain.
This ten.
Yeah. No, I mean, so it's this
That's a pain.
this step of the process is not terribly difficult. You're like the sciencey part is done, and it's just a matter of crushing it into an appropriately sort of fine powder and consistency for you to use.
Yeah.
And you grind it up just fine.
Okay. Then time to mix it with ink, which calligrapher supplies. Which,
Yep.
I don't know if, yeah, I'm proficient with them. So I'll take out my ink and the other supplies that I would use to maybe make ink. I actually know how ink is actually made. Maybe it's just like, how is ink made? I don't actually know.
Magic.
I will replicate that process, but using the black crystals.
Okay.
And so for that, what happens? That would be what, a dex check, or would that be or intelligence?
I guess for like making ink, I'd probably base it on intelligence, just because it's like it's almost alchemy, like making ink like that.
Okay, so it's a plus 7. Doesn't count, even though it's good. Dang it! 15.
15.
8s all day.
That's-
You know,
Wow.
that's like one
Just
drop
super
from a
consistent.
20.
Of course it is.
Okay. Yeah. So you take the time and basically, so you don't make brand new ink out of the powder, but the way you do it, you basically infuse like really fine ink that you have with this powder, and you heat it like just enough so you know how you hit the sort of the perfect point with like warm water where like sugar and other things like dissolve very easily.
Yeah.
And you heat it just enough so that all of the powder smoothly dissolves and is contained in the ink
Okay.
at that point.
Okay. All right. So the next step is to inscribe the rune into the leather band I had made.
Mm-hmm.
I still could use probably the calligrapher supplies because it's like basically the same thing. But this is more of a hand-eye coordination thing of getting the rune to look right.
You still also have, I mean, just like basic arcana as well.
Oh, I can use that? I'll do that.
Because it's meant, yeah, like you've been writing spells in spell books for years. Like this is I think you could pretty reasonably have it
That's true.
fall within that.
That's true. Okay, now Dracana. Swear to God.
8.
12,
It's
which
12.
brings me to a 20. No. 19.
19.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Too bad.
It's a difficult surface to inscribe.
With tiny rune.
Right, to inscribe the rune on the gear. Particularly challenging. Like it's small. It's smaller. It's not paper. It's just a challenging task to manage. But you take your time, and your learned, steady hand is able to inscribe the rune on it.
Okay. Okay, this looks pretty good. And then I just have to carefully take apart the trinket and replace it. I'm switching axes. And replace the leather belt within the trinket with the new one that I just made. And for that, I can use my Tinker's tools,
Okay.
which also puts a 7 on.
Get it. It's a 7.
Yikes.
So what is... Because I have inspiration.
It's a 14 total.
How
14's pretty good.
how
14's
repeatable
pretty
is
good.
this step?
I mean, I have another... The whole thing's repeatable. as
There's
long as I-
additional leather bands.
yeah.
But you have to redo inscribing and then.
Yeah, I have to redo all the other steps. Because I'd have to start with a fresh...
Something to
Well-
consider.
No, I have... I have extra ink, so I could make... But this is-
Yeah, you if this is bad and it like breaks or something, you'd have to redo the inscribing part. But
Yeah. Okay, then I'll keep it. I'll keep the roll.
14.
okay,
14 total.
and not using the demonstration.
Correct.
14 total.
Yeah.
Okay.
It explodes and I die.
Your entire
It
amulet
explodes-
is destroyed.
It explodes and consumes all of your spare
So-
ingredients.
So you get the other band out, no problem. You're putting this one in, and you just slowly have to sort of like work it. The same way you have to like, if you're assembling something, you have to like sort of finger tighten all the various screws first before you sort of finally tighten everything. You get it most of the way on, and you see just the slightest tear start to happen.
It'll be fine. It's going to rip. It's going to break. Shit. That damn leather worker doesn't know what she's doing. It's her fault. Totally not my fault. I did not mess anything up. I'll try again.
Okay.
Take another band out and just start the inscription process over.
Okay. Roll. Yeah, roll. You can roll an Arcana check again. This one.
Yeah.
26.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Oh, this room's
Much
better
much
anyway.
easier the second time around.
This time it's perfect. I did not. No, this is going to go great. Yeah, just pop it up, and I'll immediately just like, yeah, in a good mood. I'm just gonna start popping out pieces and put the new other band in.
Okay.
This is this goes really badly. 19.
19. This time you slowly work it around, and this time you're able to get the whole band on there, no tears, and it seems like it's on there fine.
All right, that's it. Now all it's up to do is try it out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll put the casing back on, put the necklace back through, and put it back on my neck, and hope I don't die. And okay.
So your amulet's new functionality, as a bonus action, you can activate it to get the spell effect of the spell Blur.
Okay.
It lasts, but the difference is it lasts either for 10 minutes or until you take damage from an attack.
Okay, and that's once per reset.
Yes.
Okay. So it's basically what the space beasts can do.
Right.
Okay.
Your amulet also now requires attunement.
Alright, yeah, that's gonna happen. Okay. Here, only 2 slots. Doesn't matter. I'll find what I can do. Okay.
Yeah, it just the other one. is sort of just this like, okay, one time, like activate on demand sort of thing, but this spell needs to affect a specific person. So
But
that's
I think
the reason for the attunement.
Doesn't the space for these cloak like require attunement?
I think it does.
Okay, then this just makes sense.
Hmm.
Okay, I'll add that to my list of 2 items when I find it.
Yeah, and I didn't print a new version of it yet. That's another thing that's on my
Okay.
to-do list for next week, hopefully, when I get some more printer ink at home. Cool. So you now have your
Upgrade trinket,
upgraded amulet.
which looks exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Very nice.
Golf claps.
Had to look 4 pieces.
Yeah, but I would say that all of those steps in that process, particularly because the inscribing of the rune on it, that probably makes a really long day for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
That just you're working into the night on this.
Yeah. Yep.
Alright.
I assume so. Okay.
Bye.
Cool, guys.
Cool.
I lock the door, so if, like... Actually, you know what? I put an alarm spell down the hallway, and it only activates if... what's your name comes back? Ildith comes back down the hallway, so I get like a little mental alarm, such as startle me at the door while I'm working on something.
Oh, okay.
And just like, oh
God.
God, broke everything. Oh, there goes my acid. But yeah, I'll take the day to do that.
Okay. All right. So the two of you, are you bringing
No.
anyone else?
No.
So don't
So
need
yes.
for the rest of the day because
No.
I'm busy.
Yeah.
This is Nero and Yormek
Stay
adventure.
Best synergy.
Of the whole party.
synergy.
I mean, in combat, maybe?
Possible.
Best
Because
damage output.
yeah.
That's for sure.
The 2 offensive classes of the party.
Inspiration is probably the best pair with me.
Yeah,
then.
that's true.
Okay.
So Yormik,
Yeah.
hear me out.
Alright.
In the event that, let's say, this whole turning into a werewolf thing can't be undone here,
Yeah.
I'm definitely the alpha of the pack.
Well, is your werewolf able to, like, create fire from its eyes and stare down its enemies?
No, but I nearly killed you, so it's clearly
Well,
pretty
right.
good.
I mean, sure, like, versus another...
But hear me out. We could be a wolf pack.
We could be a wolf pack. We could co-lead the wolf pack.
You could be like the vice president.
But I could get on board with that. Okay. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, right? We just have to know
all we
when
have
it's
to do
happening.
is convince everybody else to be as well, and then you'll be above a lot of people.
True. So you tell 2 people, I'll tell 2 people, and we'll get them in. And then
Pyramid
they'll-
scheme.
Right. Yeah.
I see.
The triangle of success.
Oh my god. No, you see, it's an upside down funnel.
Right. The funnel is us getting all the power.
Right.
Right.
That's how being a werewolf works.
Clearly, it's a very intellectually challenging problem to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's go talk to this guy.
Agreed. Glad we have a plan. Though.
Yes, of course. Either we are great werewolves or not. Win-win.
You right.
Yep.
All right. Okay. So you guys make your way from the foaming bug over to the speaking stones, which are
We see Bryn
somewhere on this
dead.
map. Yeah. So actually, well, unbeknownst to you, Bryn is slightly further away. The speaking stones are actually sort of in between some of the residential area and just like north of where Diggermatic Hall is. Or sorry, not north. Up on this map,
Which is
west of Diggermatic Hall.
Jawohl.
That's why I turned mine.
Oh yeah, it's terrible.
Okay,
like right here-ish.
Yeah, that little bloop.
Yeah.
Nope, down. Wait, crap. Now we're oriented differently. No, we're not.
Yeah, right? With the 3 little things.
Slightly towards Lenny. One more. Nope, too far. Towards me. That.
Cool.
Done. We
The
got there.
Diglett.
Yeah.
The Diglett.
There you go.
So you guys make your way over to the Diglett.
There we go.
Indeed.
And as you approach, it's a smaller little tunnel entrance. But as you approach the Speaking Stones, you see a circle of stone menhirs that look to predate the rest of Blingdenstone, standing at the middle of this small cavern. Menhirs being like giant obelisk kind of stones, like Stonehenge type things. An older looking Zwerfdeblin, wearing robes of red and slate, standing in the middle of the circle, sees you, smiles, and approaches as you enter the cavern. Hello there, travelers. May I ask what brings you to the Speaking Stones this day?
We come looking for Gurnik.
Well, Gurnik, you have found.
What's him?
Yoda.
Hey, those stones are really old.
I know. I'll ask you about him later.
Yeah, we'll
Okay.
get there.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Hello, Gurnik.
Hello.
Man, I'm Yormik.
Yormik.
He's Yormik Brewmantle Ironhand.
Iron Brewmental Hand to you.
And I'm Nero Amaris.
Not here.
Nope.
Greetings, Nero Amaris. Yormik, Iron Brew Mantle Hand.
Finally, someone got it right. So we hear that you have persuasion for healing magics of some kind, restorative, perhaps. My friend here fell ill to the bite of a werewolf, and has come under its influence.
Long story short, killed a werewolf, got bit, turned into a werewolf, bit him.
Well, yeah, so that's also part of it. So we were wondering if you knew of any way for us to not have this problem anymore.
But first and foremost, if you know any more about this, given the were-rat situation here, I assume that the afflictions are somewhat similar, and you can give us some details as to what it entails.
Yes. Well, most lycanthropy does share a lot of traits with the other varieties. Werewolves and were-rats, no exception to this. And you're right, I do have a fair bit of knowledge around lycanthropy, given our settlement's proximity to the were-rat warrens. Yes, I can see it in your eyes. The weariness of wielding a strength that is not yet your own. It can be cured, of course, is presuming you contracted it via bite. And if that is what you wish, I can do that for you. I simply urge you not to make a hasty decision out of fear, especially when you need not decide yet. The Topsiders full moon by my calendar was not too many days ago. And you do have some time before you would be required to make your decision about how to proceed with the curse. And you say you bit him.
Correct.
It did happen.
Oh, if you killed the original, and he's cured, right?
Right, yeah. That's how it works.
That'd be really funny.
Yeah, that's not going to go super well.
But I do see from time to time other Zwerfneblin here in Blingdenstone who've been bitten on occasion by some of our more feral denizens to the west. Most of them have it removed, but there is the rare exception.
Is there any reason why I wouldn't want it removed?
Well, there are certain benefits that accompany lycanthropy if one is willing to embrace it. Having transformed yourself and attacked your friend here, which, come to think of it, I'm not sure how you survived such a
There were 8 of them.
encounter.
I did it by myself, so the other 7 were asleep.
I don't know. Something like that.
I see. Well, certain individuals with the proper constitution and willpower have the ability to embrace the curse and use it as a means to an end rather than allowing it to victimize themselves and others. I see, judging by the symbol you bear, that you are a follower of the Moon Maiden.
That is correct.
Tell me then, follower of Selune, do you know the sorts of creatures that fall under the domain of your deity?
Right?
Make a religion check and see how shitty of a paladin you are.
12.
12.
Okay.
No, and I honestly shouldn't even, like, me making a roll for it was me being a sarcastic asshole, but no, you,
Had I rolled a 1, it would have been.
right, it's like, oh,
hilarious.
you have amnesia of everything you learned in Paladin College. No, but you know that Selune is the favored deity of, for lack of a better way to describe it, good lycanthropes.
Yeah.
Not all of whom were bitten, some were actually born into lycanthropy.
Yeah. It's only the evil ones who give her a bad name.
You
Take them down.
Can you be susceptible to more than one lycanthropic curse at the same time?
I'm trying to mimic accent, alright?
Well, if we go in,
Gotta catch them all.
I'm a were-rat and a werewolf and a were-raven and a were-bear
All
and a
of
And
were-boar
a vampire.
where
and a
tiger,
vampire.
where demogorgon, I want all. No,
And the lich. That's what I
can't. Is that? I don't know.
Probably fine.
Well, I have personally never seen or encountered anyone myself who had contracted more than one variety of lycanthropy. But who would I be to presume what is impossible in this world?
Is there any way that you could check if he has contracted lycanthropy from the bite? Or is that something that can't be determined until the next full moon?
I can take a look. Let me see the bite.
I show him the bite that is in place.
His face.
Yeah, probably.
Just
Around the head.
Right.
I can't find it, man.
Around his head.
Clamped onto
Yeah,
his whole
he's like,
head.
I don't know where it is.
Yeah.
What
People
happened,
tell me
dude?
I got bit.
It
There's just like a
happened.
ring
Yeah.
of teeth marks. Probably like your shoulder
Yeah, that makes sense.
Interesting.
or arm.
Tell me, do you wish to have contracted lycanthropy?
I mean, it wouldn't be the worst thing that's happened to me in the last, 3 weeks.
You didn't answer my question.
It looked pretty cool. So yeah, we'll go with yes.
I suppose a question to ask prior to this is,
I don't...
do you know if when he transformed, if he chose to embrace lycanthropy, he's saying that he contracted it, would he still be able to cast spells? He's a bit of a spell slinger.
That would be a deal breaker.
That is an interesting question because I've seen NPC werewolf stat blocks, and I've seen the Blood Hunter Order of the Lycan stuff, but they don't have spells that they can cast. So that's a good question.
Yeah,
Would it fall under subtle spell?
I want to know if I can use my greatsword and divine smite stuff.
That's a good question.
Yeah, and the underline just decides to go attack werewolves.
I mean, it sounds like a great way to
as
become...
long as
resistance to all damage.
Suddenly, all of the enemies Kevin puts in our way have silver weapons.
Right. They were on sale. Silver really tanked. Electrum's taken off. You know how these things go.
Half all damage.
It's so good.
Silver.
One silver.
Spoiler alert, it's not like that every time.
Well, that makes it less appealing.
I'm gonna say I'm less interested.
I can't say that I've ever encountered a lycanthropic mage before. I am honestly unsure.
You could be the first.
It sounds like I was born to do this. You know what? Why not? At the very least, I don't have to worry about contracting were-rat, which is way worse than werewolf.
Oh, we're just gonna go with that. I mean, yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
So I can wait for now. I mean, it. Yeah. There's no rush, like he said. Maybe it'll be good.
So is that like a hard no on the fact that you can't determine if he contracted it or not?
Oh, he hasn't. I wasn't sure whether or not he wanted it.
I haven't?
No,
He
you
has
have
it.
it.
Oh, cool. Alright, yeah. Yay.
The Wolfpack.
There it goes.
Lenny's pack begins.
So,
Now I just need to bite my horse.
where?
A werehorse. He's just run. Nope, that's it. If you bite your horse, he's just always gonna run away from you. Werehorse.
Hey.
He gone. Always gone.
Oof.
Well,
Well, all right.
is there anything else? Is there anything?
Can I still use my sword?
And
I would presume that is possible.
wonder if I could one-hand it.
This is the most our party thing to do.
It's just, hey, what are the mechanical ramifications of me being a werewolf?
Specific. What class features do I
Listen,
lose and gain?
listen, we're
Yeah.
talking to the guy who knows about
That's true.
this. These are questions that I must know.
Right.
Anyways, so
Perhaps you should commune with your goddess.
There's a bit of a communication breakdown right now with them.
how to put this into 50 words or less? So there's kind of an issue where I can't connect with her right now, and I suspect it has to do with the fact that we've been running into some demons down here of the top tier variety, kind of like S-class demons, you know.
I hope I
like,
haven't invested in too much property. That's all I'm trying to say.
for example, you know, Demogorgon,
Mushrooms.
Zugtmoy. You guys might want to be on the
The
eye out for
Demogorgon.
that.
One of them, at least.
What do you mean one of them? It's the Demogorgon,
Is that-
Jorvik.
Oh, that's part of the title. I see. Yeah, the Demogorgon.
Interesting. We had heard rumors of some volatile demonic activity out of Minzo Baranzan, but that was many months ago now.
We ran into it. So it's not a rumor. It's here.
That is most disturbing.
That's alright, I probably can't get through your guys' maze at the entrance.
Probably. It's not like
We're gonna go through the maze.
Nah, it probably...
300 steps? No way. Oh, hell no. Just, who needs
Yeah,
it?
you guys are,
Bam, teleport inside the
you
city.
guys are probably safe.
yeah. That's it. Just don't move from here.
But that has made things a bit difficult to commune with Selune.
Well, I would presume the difficulty of connecting with the goddess of the moon must be related to your lack of proximity to it.
Oh yeah, we didn't really think about that.
Thanks, Einstein.
Do you mean to make your way back to the surface?
That is our intended course of action. But first, we're planning to help your city with this were-at problem that you guys are dealing with. That is also part of why we wanted to come to you today to ask you your thoughts on that issue. The Diggermatics were sort of split in their evaluation of what to do. One of them was all for just eliminating them, and the other wanted some sort of discussion. So we're not really sure what the approach is. We did a bit of scouting yesterday, but it's difficult to decide what our next step should be with them.
Well, personally, I would favor a diplomatic outcome if there is one to be had. At their core, the were-rats in the Warrens are still Zwerfneblin, and if anything, they have more claim to Blingdenstone than we, as they are the remains of the Zwerfneblin who didn't leave when the city was destroyed.
I do have a question with respect to that. You say that they're all Zwerfneblin, right? The interesting thing we found yesterday whilst my friend was scouting was atop a sort of plateau in the Warrens. There were two just giant, I suppose, were-rats. All the other residents of the Warrens were nowhere to be found. He was using some sort of scrying and couldn't see anyone except for those two giant rats.
That would be a Zwerfneblin specialty, you see.
Oh, similarly to how our friend Jimjar was difficult for the Illithid to detect.
Jimjar, you said.
That was deliberate for that. Yes. He's a companion of ours. He was a captive of the Drow with us.
Kidnapped right before chasing after his one true love, as I recall.
He did say that.
Oh my god. These are hitting on our foreign.
Like,
Yeah.
he's
Well,
not
indirectly.
Listen.
Yeah.
We got out the sewing kit. We're just threading the needle right now.
Yeah.
Uh,
It is easy. It just rates itself.
Listen, our bro needs some help.
Yeah.
We're just giving him a hand.
well, Senny will certainly find that interesting.
Has she also
But-
been waiting for him?
Senny Diggermatic is married to Dorbo Diggermatic.
Kind of thought they were siblings.
Same here. That's a bit awkward. How's polygamy in these parts?
Get the fiance out of the way, then the whole thing.
Never mind. Listen, just because there's a goal.
On the next session of The Bachelor Jimjar edition.
I mean, Jimjar.
So, anyway, yeah, well, that's a story for another time, perhaps.
Yeah, for sure. Back to the whole undetected Zwerfneblin, but two giant rats at the top of a plateau.
Well,
And a throne.
if they were giant rats, I suspect that they were, at the very least, not Zwerfneblin. There are various forms of vermin in any city.
There was a throne up at the top of that plateau with them.
A throne? What sort of throne?
It was a throne type throne.
Let's see what kind of throne it was. Do I remember?
Was it obsidian? Like it was black.
It was just like crudely carved stone,
Yeah, it's
maybe?
like-
Oh.
stone.
I don't
It was
remember. I
It
just
was
wrote
on
that
top
there
of
was
a
a throne.
plateau.
Yes. Which are the highest forms of flattery.
Yeah, it was just like a stone chair.
It was a stone chair. It was just stone. Nothing.
Funny, they're just hilarious.
Nothing glamorous or.
Well, there was like a nice carpet of moss on the plateau.
There was a
around
nice
it.
carpet of moss on the top of the plateau, though.
Bit
It was the
Yeah, man,
nice-
take better notes. I
It
don't
was
know.
the nicest looking area in that shithole.
Well, it would not surprise me if the were-rats had some form of leadership.
Like those
Or
giant rats. Like those giant rats.
Probably the pets. Was the leader, maybe? I don't know.
Listen, I'm just trying to figure out.
We're just throwing guesses out.
I'm just trying to figure out if there's a specific person for us to kill that will solve this. That's whispering.
I think it's just all of them.
Anyways, this is how we operate. It's fine.
We bargain. Like, I want to kill all of them. He doesn't want to kill any of them, and we're gonna meet in the middle somewhere. Most likely.
Or not, and just it'd be a bloodbath.
Right, it's possible. Have there been any incursions to try to push back some of the more feral critters?
Incursions by us into the Warrens?
Either way, combat with the were-rats.
They are very defensive about their territories. I believe a few excursions have happened, but no substantial ground has been gained. The most progress we've really had is just blocking off the tunnels.
During the scouts and scuffles that you may have had, did you notice anything that was particularly more or less effective than you would have hoped in your fight against the were-rats?
I was not a part of these excursions.
Sure. I just wasn't sure if it would be discussed with someone such as yourself. Just,
Hey, tell me the were-rat's weaknesses.
Look,
He just wants to know fireworks.
yeah, that's I mean, that's most, it is a tactical, we're doing research.
Yeah. Just the point you'll make.
Yeah, does fire work against were-rats? That's where we're getting.
They are, as far as I'm aware, they burn like any other creature might.
Good to know. Is there anything in particular, unless you have any other questions?
Not on the were-rats, so if you have one more with them.
Well, I'm more curious if there's anything that you have that needs done in this city
Well,
that we can help with.
well, I was going to ask you, kind of in the same vein. We heard that the catacombs may have a ghost problem.
A ghost problem.
That was all that we heard. Our friend, the Khajiit, came here.
Khajiit?
This is not the catacombs.
Oh, but I thought it was.
The Ruby and the Rough
Yeah.
is a different temple section,
Uh,
and then
Oh.
the catacombs are under that. This is not either of those.
we were lied to.
We could probably take that on just today, like us two.
Well, I don't know if there's any ghosts there. That's kind of why I'm asking him a question.
So we're asking him if there's any ghosts in the Ruby.
If there's any problems in the catacombs.
None that I'm aware of. Nothing problematic, anyways. But Glyphic is the priest who looks after the ruby. You could speak to him about it. He would certainly know more than I about its goings on.
What's the significance of this area that we're in right now?
This area, these stones are extremely old. Far older than
Date them.
far older than
Carbon dating, go.
even Blingden stone itself.
You sure?
Do you have DM inspiration?
No.
Rock looks older than the other rocks you see.
Cool.
With your 8.
Yeah. He might be right. I'm not sure. Anyway, continue.
They offer a too many notes. They are right.
It's brought to you by Dwarven Forge. This note check brought to you by Dwarven.
These speaking stones, they offer clarity and a powerful ancient connection to Earth and old Earth. The Master of Stone, and the Deep Brother, the Lord of Deep Earth. He is who I commune with here. And it is here that I am able to feel my connection to him most deeply.
I see. Well, it certainly has a unique aura to it. I use divine sense. Might as well.
What's Divine Sense do, real quick? No.
No. Alright.
So you don't get anything that registers in any particular fashion. There's no scent or like extreme good or evil, and there's nothing extra planar in the near vicinity.
Yeah, this place is very holy.
Earlier you mentioned Menzo Baron's on that you'd heard rumors of a giant crossing streams demon attack in Menzo Baron's on.
Yes.
How far away is that city?
Menzo Baronzon is at least, let's say, 8 days travel away.
That's relatively close.
Is it close to the surface?
Menzo Baronzon is no closer to the surface than Blingdenstone.
Not quite on the way.
That makes sense though. If it's only 8 days out, we ran into some drow assassins while we were making our way towards the city. We learned from them that they were given orders to attack any topsiders that tried to make it to Blingdenstone.
Interesting. It does not surprise me that the Drow would have scouts in the vicinity of our city. But you say they had instructions specifically to hunt down individuals such as yourselves from,
Well, not him.
such as yourself
Yeah.
from the surface world?
Correct.
Interesting. And troubling.
Well, unless there's anything we can do for you, you've given us a great deal of information. We're very thankful for your help. But unless there's anything we can do for you, we will allow you to carry on with your commune.
Well, I do have something, but it is no small favor. Having just met you, I do not wish to burden you with such a task.
I cast enlarge on myself.
Jesus. Okay.
I think we can handle it.
He just like looks at you like, really? Like, all right.
I also look at him like, really?
Look, we're putting our best foot forward here.
This temple here is, sorry, this isn't a temple. There are several temples in Blingdenstone, the Ruby and the Rough being one of them. But the Ruby is a temple to Segojan Earthcaller, the Lord of the Burrow. However, my own temple in Blingdenstone, the temple of Calarduran Smoothhands, currently stands desecrated under the influence of Ogremox Bane.
Who's that?
Ogremox Bane is a malevolent entity. It takes the form of a cloud of drifting dust. but corrupts the minds of elementals that are exposed to it. It roams the Rock Blight section of the city. And we believe it to be sentient. It operates with intent. And elemental creatures that are touched by the cloud fall under its control.
I see.
You can roll a... No, this would be a nature or arcana check.
Yikes. That's 9.
9, okay. No, you Ogremock does not ring a bell for you.
So it's a cloud that controls elementals. Is this place also behind the very large doors?
The entrance to Rock Blight, yes, is north, just north of here. So yeah, when you guys left the Caves of Clatter, yes.
So it's just it's the doors due north of where we're at.
Yeah, basically is one at least one of the entrances into Rock Blight.
Gotcha.
Probably go take a look.
We could do it at
So
assuming we got
the
it.
section at the bottom is a little cut off, but there are 2 more doors from that section that also head into the area that's considered Rock Blight.
Okay.
It was not conveniently possible to crop it with like a slight awkward angle at the bottom.
Gotcha.
If I had to guess, it probably looks like that.
And
Well, it's not completely wrong.
There's a tunnel system probably behind it.
Is it like your most general catchphrase?
Right.
well,
Good. Is the door guarded, or do we have to get permission to look ahead, or?
It is guarded. There's a guard stationed there at all times on the off chance that any of the corrupted elementals or other entities in Rock Blight decide to make their way out. But it's been quite some time since anyone has gone in or out of the Rock Blight.
why do you say it's no small task? Is it because there's a large number of elementals under the control of this presence?
Several at least. It is... But there's more in Rock Blight than just Ogremock's Bane. It is one of the wild corners of Blingdenstone that we Zwerfneblin have not been able to tame and reclaim yet. But the temple to Kalardurin persists there nonetheless. This gem, he pulls a gem out of his robe pockets, and it looks like a ruby gem of similar size to the yellow
Elemental.
That we can have?
Or the
yeah, not they're
Yeah.
in the ballpark. It's not necessarily one of those, but this spell gem contains the ability to cast the Hallow spell. There is a large stone menhir in the temple, very similar looking to those that surround us now. The spell gem needs to be placed in one of the stone menhirs, but it will certainly provoke retaliation from Okramok.
Will this spell remove the presence after it has been placed?
The cleansing of the temple will awaken the 3 temple guardians, but before they will... Sorry, ask what you just said again.
Will it remove the Ogremok's bane?
Once the hallowing has been completed, the guardians should be immune to the influence of Ogremok's bane.
How long does the spell take to take effect?
It takes a number of minutes. It is hard to say with how...
Greater than 1.
Right. Probably 10.
So at least 10 rounds ago.
Yeah. So, well...
So I would certainly like to help you, but as you might understand, taking on a presence like this with no gain of our own is a bit of a stretch.
So I bore no illusion that this would be an act of pure charity, particularly given that you and I have only just met. But if the temple is cleansed, I would then be able to channel its power and bestow a powerful blessing on you from the Lord of Deep Earth.
May we, as I mentioned before, when I was explaining my werewolf situation, there are many other members of our party that we would have to consult first to see if they would also be on board to help with this endeavor. I cannot speak for all of them just yet.
I understand. I would certainly not recommend undertaking this venture, just the 2 of you.
Could we expect you to be here when we return tomorrow with an answer?
I can be found here most days. Some days I do make my way out to the Stoneheart Quarry as its head priest. I, of course, have some duties there. But yes, I will be here tomorrow.
My only other question would be, would you... no one has been in there in a long time, so it's hard to say, but would you recommend that we make this a multi-expedition, sort of multi-step expedition, where we clear out some of the resistance before we push all the way for the temple? Maybe eliminate a few elementals before we go all in on this.
I would leave such determination up to yourself. If you think that is the best way to go about it, then so be it.
How large is the rock blight?
The rock blight stretches for many caverns and tunnels. It is a reasonably large section of the city, but Blingdenstone is certainly not small by any means.
If we were to, when we return here tomorrow, would you be able to provide us with, even if they're crude, just instructions as the fastest way we could get to your temple?
Or at least within 500 feet.
That way we could, find the path of least resistance in order to begin the process. I know that we inevitably will be looking at a confrontation, but if we can delay that, it would be ideal.
Yes, I mean the temple stands near the steadfast stone. I can't give you precise directions, but I can at least give you a cardinal direction from the gate entrance into the rock blight. It is not a straight shot, but it is approximately due north of the entrance.
The entrance just north of us?
Yeah.
That was
Yeah, so
suffice.
basically it's not just like, sweet, a hallway goes straight and you're at the temple,
Yeah.
but it is
Mostly
that general
that way.
direction.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to like end up going way east from there necessarily.
Alright. Well, we'll be back tomorrow after we've discussed this information with our comrades.
Very well. Blessings of the deep brother be with you. He gives a slight bow.
I give him a nod and motion Yormik for us to head out.
Cool. Hey, is Crow still around?
I don't know. He went to the catacombs yesterday, and I don't recall seeing him in the tavern.
We did.
Who said that? Oh, spoopy ghost!
So,
Metagaming ghost!
So
It's just
we
like
have-
rises up, says something, floats away.
3 tasks.
Oh.
We have
Were rats.
were-rats, elementals, and
Ooze.
oozes.
Who's the boss?
So 2 of those sound much easier to kill and more lucrative than the third. I'm sure this blessing is great.
But the blessing may help us significantly with the other 2.
I mean, I'll go crack some skulls if we want to take that one on first.
Kind of.
It's worth a shot. We
Let's
could
do
go. We could talk to the guards and see if. Well, no,
They won't be helpful.
no, they won't. I was gonna say we could scout as long as we stay within 500 feet of the door. I could tell the guards just don't stand in this exact spot, and then we could just come back there if anything gets exciting.
Can I come with you if you do that?
You can.
Alright, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right.
Let's hope they don't know counterspell.
If the elementals know counterspell, then
We're not going
Yeah.
in there ever.
right, yeah,
Maybe we could take one out.
it's possible.
What with that? If it's just one.
If it's just one. I mean, we killed one before.
Just you stay behind me. That way we can bail out with your easy
Sure.
escape method.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
So you guys just going into rock play right
Yeah.
now?
Yeah, we are.
Yep.
Okay.
Scouting.
Scouting.
Man, if only we had some way to do this without actually having to go in there.
I actually thought about getting Vera, but then
But she's
Kevin.
busy.
But Kevin mentioned earlier, he was like, "This is gonna take you like well into the night, so like we're gonna go back and she's
I
gonna
can
be
take you
like,
places at once.
still working.
We'll just go a little bit in,
We'll just go a little bit in. We'll fight one elemental.
and we'll leave. In, out. We can do this
Hey, it's
every
just
day for
we're
30 days.
feeling it
We
out.
can
Right,
do
yeah.
this every day.
And then on the
for
30th
30
day, we'll turn into
days.
werewolves, and we'll just go in
Exactly.
there.
There
and
we
wreck
go.
them.
Okay, this is a
I
solvable
think the
problem
respawn time is like 15 days though.
of elementals.
Yeah.
Nah.
No, that's not how it works.
Or the
All
Wooders
right.
farm XP.
We're going in.
It's fine. Win-win. Walk up to the guards. My enlarged spell reduces on the way over.
The party, split the party.
There's two of us.
Oh, well, okay. We already split the party. I mean,
What's the worst that could happen here?
I can think of a few things.
We might die.
I mean, I don't
Possible.
I haven't changed it very high,
It's
but
possible.
they're not zero.
They're not zero.
Non-zero.
That sounds about right.
Cool.
Okay.
It's probably fine.
Sounds like Jim Jar's girl is taken.
Yeah, that's actually really
I like
unfortunate.
how you like blurted out that he's in love with her, and then found out that she's married. That's gonna be super awkward.
She already knows.
uh,
I don't care. It doesn't really affect me.
wow.
Man, neutral good, huh?
So
I guess you can be neutral
Neutral.
good and also an asshole. So
I'm not negative.
you be like a dick to your friends, but still like be all about the greater
we're
good.
undertaking a
Yeah.
religious task
It
here
happens.
for no money.
I haven't done anything wrong to Ginger.
Okay. So,
We just tried to help a brother out.
Right.
so you guys head north from the Speaking Stones.
We ride north.
And you make your way through the adjoining caverns and tunnels until you find yourselves in front of the sort of staging area where you saw previously. It was sort of barricaded, basically defending against anything coming out of the gate in front of you.
While we're walking
It's the same door that went to the were-rats?
No, different door.
No,
Different door.
it's the one that you
Were-rats-
drew. It's the one that you like
were-rats-
drew
Oh,
off
this
of.
one. We're going over
Yeah,
here.
we're at store.
Okay, I thought we were going over here.
You are
That's
going
what I
over
meant.
there.
We are. This
Yeah,
connects.
sure. Okay,
Same-
cool.
Same
Yep.
place.
Got it.
Yep.
I mean, we almost killed that one water elemental while everyone was basically drowning.
All I know, all my fire will work just fine against rocks.
If Pokemon has taught me anything,
This is fine.
this is fine. So yeah, you enter this cave and you see that it's fortified and barricaded, and you see a small detachment of Zwerfneblin guards and several cave badgers guarding the gate.
Dope. Hello?
just walking up to him.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the guards turns and just like, whoa, who the hell are you?
My name is Jormek Brew Iron Mantelhand. This is my associate Nero. We have been commissioned by Gurnik to restore the glory to the temple that rests in the rock blight.
Caladura.
You two.
Well, the rest of us aren't. The rest of us are not present at the moment, but the two of us are going to scout first. And
Something that seasoned adventurers do. We send a scouting party first, and so we have some.
we're the Underlight. We're kind of a big deal.
Right.
We're new to town though, so
The
it's-
Underlight.
You bet.
So we have.
All right, that's a cool name.
in game confirmation.
Yep. And you're going just on a scouting mission, just the two of you?
Yeah,
Yep.
just a few hundred feet. If you guys could leave the space directly in front of the doors in the middle, unoccupied, until we get back, so that we don't meld with whoever happens to be standing there.
That's not how it works.
Yeah, but they might not know that. That's fair.
He might know.
I guess that's
Yeah.
also fair.
He doesn't know that.
That would be great.
I'll draw my sword and carve an X on the ground.
Okay.
Be like, just don't stand here.
All right. Yeah, sure. Well, no problem. It was already an unoccupied spot on the ground anyway,
Yeah.
so
Just
yeah,
making
whatever.
sure.
Just deface the floor.
Yes.
All right.
How?
Any tips on what to expect inside the cave?
Well, I can tell you that Ogremok's Bane ain't the only thing lurking behind these doors. We've had unconfirmed reports of a female drow that's made its home inside these caverns. Only she
No drought.
she ain't no ordinary drow. According to the few that have seen her and managed to return, they say that her gaze is sickening.
So don't look. Who would ever look something in the eyes? That would potentially be their undoing. I mean, that's adventuring 101.
Does was there any information about her being spellcaster of any sort?
Drow can't cast spells.
Shut up, you're next. This is incredibly important to our chances of survival.
I got no idea about that, to be entirely honest with you. But if you can come back here with information as to her whereabouts in the rock blight, I'll give you 50 gold apiece.
Damn, I'm sold.
Yeah, this is easy.
Well, all right. This is
Additionally, I know adventurers such as yourselves tend to be enterprising folks at times. And there's an extra 1,000 gold if you bring me her head.
Oh, I mean, we would never impose, but I mean, since you already offered it, it's non-revocable.
Is that like a standing offer or just for today?
That's a standing offer.
Oh, hell yeah.
But our information on the state of Rockblight is very, very dated at this point. It's been months since anyone's gone in.
Do you guys have any, like, parchment and a pen or quill I could take with me? I could throw out some details. Perhaps that could be of value.
Calm down,
Indeed.
I could remember it too.
What?
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. In case it looks different, then it's fine.
So, Yormik, my only concern here is if she is a spellcaster, anything like Bryn or Vera, they've stopped people from casting spells in the past.
Sure. So
and
there's a chance that I could hide. Thank you.
Hey, Jenny Lowback.
I could like hide the fact that I'm casting the spell at all from this individual.
that's pretty cool. I'll have to give you credit for that.
So unless she takes over my mind, which no one has ever done, including people who could see into my head.
Side note, if there is a material component to the spell, whatever it is, that is not obfuscated. You still need to use your Staff of the War Mage.
Is only verbal.
Dimension Door?
Okay, yeah, so
Yeah.
you could hide that one. But
Yes.
Alright, that's the one we're
Yeah,
talking
that's
about.
the one.
that would make
that's
the
the
casting
one.
of that imperceptible.
That's the deal
Yeah.
breaker on this excursion.
Yep.
What spells were below only? Or was it secret?
Dimension Door.
Dimension Door.
Yeah. Dimension Door, that is the only spell I'm planning on casting while inside this cave.
Yeah, now that I know there's some freaking drow.
If you imagine just like you're getting
Hag.
caught, it's like, fuck! And just like, that's component, that's the
Yeah,
component.
that's the
fuck
verbal.
out.
I'm gone.
Alright. You still want to do this?
I mean, Vera's doing stuff, and Yormik is.
And Bryn singing
Bryn is
songs
singing,
or
yeah.
something with rocks.
This feels much more our speed.
Yeah. Alright, let's
I'm
go.
getting into trouble.
Let's do this.
All right.
It's fun, yeah.
Let's mark out. From what I understand about this, it's the range of about 500 feet. So when we get that far, let's try to make a mark so we know what we have to run back to before this will work.
Alright.
How much rope do you have?
A lot. And I'm gonna go buy more of it just because everybody pissed me off. Not right now. I mean,
Before we go, can I buy
Before
3
we go.
miles of rope?
Can I have one dimension door's length of rope?
Right.
500 rope.
That would be pretty useful.
Wouldn't it?
That would be great.
Sorry, I'm trying to pull up.
Oh, also, I turned to the guards. In the event we don't return, if you could tell the people who call themselves the Underlight at whatever that tavern is that we're staying at,
The foaming mug.
the Foaming Mug, if you could tell them that we didn't come back, that would be grand.
Sure, when you don't come back, we will
If
inform.
we don't come back.
If.
Sure.
Alright, let's make a bet.
Enjoy your goddamn fools, errand.
100 gold that we come back.
Knock, knock, knock. Everyone's dead.
100 gold says we come back.
Ooh.
It's a touch rich for my blood.
You're about to
You just
get
offered us
100
1,000 gold for her head.
That
And then you also offered 100 gold if we brought you back
You know what, it's
information
fine.
from
Well,
whereabouts.
I bet-
the 1,000 gold is not out of my own pockets.
I'm willing
sir.
to bet that we have some information on
What?
wherever this person is.
All right,
I
well,
can almost
hold on.
guarantee it.
What about how high will you go?
I don't need to bet you on your own life.
It's fine.
Listen, you were
Look,
doubting us. I'll give you the money now, so if I don't die, you have the money. But if I come back,
Deal. 15.
15? Alright, I give him 15 gold.
Okay. Mark it off.
I'm not gonna mark it off until I die.
Right. No. Alright, so we're looking for a drow woman, a cloud of black evil force, and lots of alive rocks.
You have to all rocks on this list too.
Probably just rocks. Probably.
Alright,
What other elements are there?
let's go.
You have your firecaster. Like
Into the tunnel.
We're in.
it's an
We
element.
go through
It's
the
a way of
door.
We
life.
go through the door.
We're through already.
Okay.
Wow.
They open the fortified doors just enough for the two of you to slip through. And they immediately close both behind you. And you find yourselves in a pitch dark stretch of tunnel that leads about around 50 to 100 feet down. You come to another
Well, hold on.
gate.
We're
Oh wait,
trying-
sorry, we're
yeah.
gonna be super right.
We're
okay,
gonna
hang on.
try to be
All right,
stealthy
all right.
here.
Yeah. Also, as they're closing the door, I'm gonna whisper to Nero, "There she is, right there."
Closer, 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 closer.
I can't believe we found her already.
We're
It's
gonna
100
try-
gold.
Sorry, no, like 60 feet for this initial stretch of tunnel.
Okay.
Right.
We're gonna
Delph.
try to be quiet. I think I still have disadvantage on stealth rolls. I don't remember.
What gives you that?
My armor.
Yikes. That's fine.
And at the opposite end,
Actually,
you
it doesn't
come
say that.
to a door.
It's heavy armor. The door is 100 feet away.
There's about a 60-foot stretch of tunnel, and then you come to a heavy-looking door. It's not like another fortified gate, but
I'm betting it's today. I'm gonna cast See Invisibility as we enter this cave.
okay.
And gosh darn it, if I don't see something in here, one of these times I will see something that is invisible.
Okay. So you cast it. The aura lights up around your vision, but nothing currently. But yes, you get to the other end of this stretch of tunnel, and you find yourselves in front of a large, heavy door.
And we're 60 feet down.
Yeah.
We should probably be quiet.
Yep. I
Yep.
think we should try to open this door very quietly.
I will attempt to open the
I will stop him and attempt to open the door instead. How they're big, right? They're really big doors.
So this one is actually locked. This door is not stone. It is a heavy. It is a very heavy wooden door with sort of an old metal locking mechanism.
Can I attempt to make that not the case?
You certainly can.
You turn the door to wood. I like the stone. Or to metal.
That's decent. Probably.
16.
16. Yeah. You bust out your thieves' tools and get to work trying to unlock it. And about 20 seconds or so, not that tough, and the lock becomes unlocked.
I forgot that there was a time when you were good at things that weren't just explosions.
I mean, we've been kind of out of civilization where the skills are not as good for a while.
True. There aren't a lot of locks to pick
In the
when
tunnels.
you're in a tunnel.
You hear Bryn's voice. You're telling me!
It's quite true. This one's good though. We're set.
I will attempt to open the door quietly.
Okay. Make a... I guess just a stealth check.
Okay. So this is opening a door. My armor shouldn't give me disadvantage. Moving, it's disadvantage, but opening a door.
I could always open the door as an additional option.
Sure, just a straight stealth roll for you opening the door.
Do you want to open it? I'm okay at
I'm
opening
pretty good at
doors
opening
quietly.
doors.
How good
I'm
are
like
you at opening
I'm
doors
like plus
quietly?
5 good at opening doors.
Oh,
quietly.
you're a bit better at quietly
On a
opening
scale of like
doors
1 to
than me.
20.
Like I'm like a 5.
Well, after seeing your technique in opening doors, I think
You're at least a 6.
That's true. 22.
wow, that was dope. Let's see what I would have got.
Jeez.
12.
Yeah, so you open the door. It creaks a bit as you open it. It clearly has been not moved in quite some time.
What do you mean? Just once.
So the creaking seems to echo a bit down the tunnel in front of you, and as you open it, you hear again more echoing. You enter a tunnel that seems there's no light in here, none whatsoever. So fortunately, the two of you actually just straight up have dark vision.
Yes. Yes, quite.
That would be a shame to not have dark vision in the Underdark.
And the creaking of the door and your footsteps here echo out down the tunnels. The air on this side of the door is cold and damp, and make a perception check for both of you.
7.
12.
12. Yormik, you can just make out the sound of a distant waterfall somewhere beyond your vision. Having actually lived underground your whole life, you can better recognize the sound of an underwater waterfall. So
Cool.
Underwater.
But yeah, so as you go through the door, you almost immediately come to a fork.
Why did somebody leave that laying there for?
Shut up.
Thinking the same thing.
One path leading off to your left, another leading off to the right.
What do you think, Nero?
Which one looks like it's more northward?
They are both similarly not northward.
This is a perpendicular.
It's just you make this much progress and then have to just go
Just
this
turns
way.
around. Either of them sound like the waterfall is coming more directly from that tunnel.
The waterfall sounds like it would be coming from the right tunnel.
So we kind of tracing back water encounters we've had so far in our adventures together.
Nope, let's go right.
We're going right.
Away from the waterfall.
I was going to agree with you.
Wait,
That's to the left.
right is to the waterfall.
We're going left.
Going left. Agreed.
Okay, so you guys,
We're
head
going right.
left.
Yes. We're going left. Also yes.
We're going a direction.
Yormik's very agreeable today. So you guys head left. Are you trying to move stealthily?
Yeah.
So I would like stealth checks for yourselves.
Do I have disadvantage
Also-
on them still with the dragon armor?
I believe
Probably.
you do.
It doesn't say on the card, but I assume. It's not like straight up
Right, it's still heavy armor.
2 natural 20s.
Oh my
Are you
gosh.
shitting me? Oh my god.
That's great, because I rolled a 12. So this is way better.
That is
Nero,
tragic.
that's insane. That's
Yeah.
so ridiculous. Fucking nice.
Very nice.
Nero brought his A game today, and you silently creep down the tunnel to the left. And you go for about 100 to 120 feet down. What?
Left as in we're facing it and it's left? Or left as in overhead view and we're going
Left as in
north?
you were facing it left. So
Okay.
now you're going like
Okay.
northwest.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Did you guys know this armor had a stealth mode the whole time?
Right?
This dragon armor's way
It's so
quieter.
cool. So you go for about 120 feet before you come to a cave-in at the end of the tunnel.
Well, fuck.
We went the wrong way, Nero. Any gaps that look like something could like crawl through the cave in, or is it real solid?
It looks pretty thoroughly collapsed. There's no immediate obvious gaps that you can see.
And does it look recent, or has this been here for a long time?
Make a rocks check.
Yeah, I was hoping that would happen.
21.
21.
Let's go.
It looks pretty well settled. Like you can tell that like there's no like dust or anything else that like is like kicked up. So it doesn't look like it's a particularly recent event.
Okay. Any like there's no tracks or anything of like. So we know there's elementals here. So
Yeah.
does it look like there are like heavy rock steps?
Make a survival check.
I will also look for this.
Sure. You can also make a survival check.
I think I have a fat +0 to that,
Same.
so 8.
9.
Nope. No tracks here that either of you can discern.
That's less than 10. So those are done.
Well, I guess we're gonna need to backtrack.
Suppose could probably figure that out.
Considering it's one direction, I agree.
Well, sometimes tunnels move.
I ignore that and just
Yep.
start heading back.
Okay. So yeah, you guys backtrack about 120 feet, get back to
The fork.
the original fork in the tunnel,
Guess we go
and
towards
presumably head the other way. So you guys head this way for about 100 feet. You find yourselves entering a larger cavern that opens up at the end of this tunnel. That darkly mirrors the residential areas of the other portions of Blingdenstone that you've been in.
the water.
Except that there is no warmth or joy here. Only darkness and signs of carnage.
I guess we should leave the buildings.
Probably. Very stealthily, though. Quietly, in fact. Is it like...
Both of you make a perception check again.
14.
Man, that D20 rolled for a long time.
That's an 8.
8. Wait, sorry, what'd you get?
14.
14.
That's better.
So this time though, having been a bit of a soldier, you can make out this distant echo of what sounds like some sort of battle almost, but it's faint and it's not vivid sound that you're hearing, and at times it's almost difficult to make it out and differentiate it from what you can now hear is the sound of a waterfall that's not too far off.
Does it sound like the echoes of this battle are occurring within this cavern, or does it sound too far away?
So it sounds like it's beyond at least like what you can currently see, but it's also just faint. It's just difficult to tell.
So what, we're about 160-ish feet from the
X.
exit, from our X.
Something like that.
Trying to do a real good job of making sure we're not more than 500 feet away
Same.
from that spot. Fair enough.
So how many? Can I see the entirety of this cavern, or is it too big for me to actually be able to see?
No. So when you come in, there is a pretty big pool of water at the opening to this larger cavern.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look that it's not the source of the waterfall. You can see this body of water in its entirety. It's just like a pond or something like that. But you can see beyond it a bit where you see sort of the residential area. But you don't see the waterfall. You don't see anything that would be the source of the faint sounds of battle that you keep catching small bits of. But the large cavern that you're in definitely extends beyond where your vision currently ends.
I whisper to Yormek. So what do you think? Do you want to slowly go through here, check if any of these houses are inhabited by that drow, or
Might as well just make sure I can still reach out and grab your arm, and
yeah, just stay with me.
we can be gone in a flash.
So if things, if you look at her, it's a problem. So I want you to avoid looking
I will look
into any of them. Let me,
towards the ground.
let me be the one who acts as our eyes in this case, since you are our escape.
Sounds like a plan.
In the event that my mind was controlled, would you still be able to take me with you? Is it one willing creature?
Yes.
Yeah. So it depends on how dominated you would become.
If I'm paralyzed, I'm not.
You're not
Unwilling.
unwilling. Yeah.
Yeah, because your mind is willing.
Okay.
Your body can't do anything.
What do you think?
I mean, we've made it this far. As long as we're quiet and, like, at the first sign of movement, if it's not huge rocks, we just,
Bam.
yeah.
All right. Let's take this slow.
Sounds like a plan.
Well, do we want to start going around the right side or the left side of this pond? Because the pond's like right in our way, right? Before we
So
get
it
to the
hits
houses.
the left cavern wall, so you'd have to go around it to the right.
Okay.
There's not really
Let's go to the
not
right.
a second path. Okay, so you guys start walking around the pond through the small strip of cave into the larger cavern ahead. As you move forward, the sounds of the waterfall and the sounds of battle, even though it seems like you're heading in their direction, they don't get louder. They almost become more distant. But you move further in, and you see more residential area. After you get around the pond that's in front of you, you see that there is a tunnel stairway extending off of this cavern to your left, which would be mostly north-ish off of this room.
Okay.
But the cavern continues forward in front of you, which is sort of northeasterly. Eventually, after it's been a couple hundred feet, you get to where you just see the beginning of another small pool of water in front of you, just at the edge of your vision. And you, at this point, you're pushing the limit of your dimension door spell length.
Okay.
You would estimate.
Maybe we should just, like, fan out horizontally from here, not go any deeper, or else we're not getting back as quickly as we want to.
All right. So explore more of this.
Let's check the houses maybe and see
Yeah.
if we see anything. I mean, we haven't seen anything moving yet, right?
Right.
Okay. That's what we'll do. So we're gonna not making note of this point, this approximate, like, quote unquote barrier. We're gonna start going horizontally in this cavern instead of deeper northeastward.
Okay.
Yeah, throughout the residences. And
Sure. So when you sort of turn and change direction, you are immediately met with the glowing visage of some ethereal being. It appears as though it is a male Zwerfneblin, but as you turn and see him, his face and visage changes and becomes this horrifying, pained, shrieking face. So I need each of you to make a wisdom saving throw.
All right, you get +2 from being next to me.
Thank you. That's going to be helpful.
9.
Cocked.
I'm using my DM inspiration.
Oh no.
17.
17. Okay.
7.
7.
Horrifying visage, maybe? Is that maybe what this is?
So, Yormik,
Mm-hmm.
you immediately become frightened.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Uh,
I'm on board with that. Also,
Oh, man.
oh, yep.
you also immediately start feeling
Tired?
a little tired, but just this strange sensation courses through your body, and the creature, having screamed at you or shrieked at you, immediately reverts and begins to flee. But you notice Yormik's beard
Yeah.
suddenly just grow very rapidly. And a moment later, it's basically on the floor. He also just ends up with these crazy lines on his face, and it looks like he aged about 30 years in just a few seconds.
Do I have any idea what this is?
Make a I don't even know what kind of check this would be.
Like,
I mean, you know what it looks like, so you want to know what you know about ghosts?
Yeah. Well, I guess whatever it did to him.
Sure. Ghosts, undead, we'll go with religion.
10.
10.
Yeah.
Is there a spot for my?
I mean, you know, ghosts have the ability to possess people. They are capable of frightening people very badly. But this is new to you at the very least.
Yormik.
we're gone.
Yeah.
Yep. I cast Dimension Door,
Okay.
and we will be out before I can even really realize what's going on.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
so
that makes sense.
I'm like standing there getting ready to use Lesser Restoration on him because I have no idea what the heck just happened to him.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, so you see the ghost just flee off into one of the residences.
Yeah.
You see Yormik's beard suddenly all the way to the ground, and just with a terrified look on his face, he turns to you, grabs you, and you de-door the hell out of there.
Okay.
And a moment later, you're back in front of the gate.
So as we pop out, I look at Yormik. I stick my hand out toward the guard that I made the bet with.
He's just like, well, he looks at you like, wait, hang on, your beard was not touching the floor a minute ago.
What are you talking about? Oh.
What happened to you two?
So we found the drow woman amongst the residences deeper in the cave.
Past a pond.
Something happened to me.
Make a deception check?
Sure.
With advantage because of the flare effect.
Dang it! 11.
11. Well, that's certainly closer than we would would like. What did she do to you? I've not seen. What? Your beard is on the floor.
Yep. I'm not quite sure. I'm just gonna look at my hands. This is like.
You know, let's get you home.
Let's do that.
Actually, let's go see Gernick real quick.
Maybe. Let's do that first, yeah. Son of.
You feeling okay?
No.
I'm gonna
My
attempt to
knees
cast.
hurt.
I'm gonna attempt to cast Lesser Restoration on him.
Okay. You cast it. Nothing happens.
Yeah. Let's go to Gernick.
Yep.
There we go.
All right.
He looks a little surprised to see you back the same day, and then even more surprised that Yorvik looks older and beardier than a half hour ago or however long ago it was.
So, we went and scouted a bit, and some sort of ghost screeched at us. I think, right? That's what
And
happened.
then this happened to
And
me.
his beard grew, and he looks older.
Comes, looks.
Can you fix him?
Said it was a ghost?
I think so.
Something like that. It turned and looked terrifying for a moment, and then next thing I knew, I was older than my parents ever were.
What? Dude, Durgar lived for like hundreds of years. So like,
Sure. Yeah.
it's
Okay,
so
yeah.
it's like you age, but it's not like a human aging 30
Yeah.
years.
Yeah. Okay, this is better. Yeah. Cool.
I'm a
wait a minute.
fully developed adult now.
Right.
It would have been even less bad for me, but
Right.
Right, like 30 years, it's like whatever. Happy birthday.
Let's get Bryn in there.
yeah, there you go.
Less than desirable effects.
I see. Well, I have heard of some spirits with this sort of effect. I've never personally seen it, but I would imagine that there must be some way to reverse it. Let me try a couple things. Have you done anything?
I tried to use a lesser restoration spell on him. It seemed to have no effect.
Ah, I see. Well, then this is serious indeed. It is good that you brought him to me immediately. Though I do not currently possess the material component.
What do you need? I got you. Probably.
Well, a greater restoration spell requires diamond dust, 100 gold pieces worth.
Where do you suppose we could find that? How much money you got?
Do I have that?
Doesn't one of you?
I'm
Somebody
pretty sure
has
I
diamond
do.
dust.
Yeah, we took it out of the box from the drow blood sacrifice thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of us
Yeah.
has that.
Probably
Probably
a Bryn sheet.
Yeah.
I don't have it written down.
Yeah.
We have at least 1,000 gold worth of diamond dust.
I actually don't know how much we had.
I think you have a couple hundred, but
Yeah.
Okay. So I can go get some.
yeah, you have no problem. You go to the Singing Stones, find Bryn,
Click my boots of
Get-
speed to make it fast.
100 diamond dust, which someone just make a note to mark it off someone's inventory eventually. Gurnik is just says that it is good that you had this in your possession.
You're telling me.
I fear the effect may have become permanent, if not reversed, in such short order. But yeah, so once you bring the dust back, he casts a spell. I mean, it's a pretty good. It's only one action to cast it, and he with the diamond dust sprinkles it over you as it lights up in this radiant glow, and you just you feel 30 years younger.
This is a roller coaster of a day.
Does his beard recede or does it stay as long as it was?
I would probably recede.
Seems reasonable.
Yeah. Well, that was exciting.
Yeah. Did that also lower a point of its madness? No. I don't think. I think it.
Does
No.
it apply?
Yeah.
It has to
It's
be
a-
very
it's a
specifically.
specific target, right?
Mm.
Yeah. Oof. Trying to get value.
Big oof.
True. So the guards at the gate, thank you, first of all, very much. Also, the guards at the gate told us that there was a drow woman who made her home there. You have any idea what's going on with that?
I have heard the rumors, but I've not seen her myself or spoken with anyone who has seen her.
Gotcha. That information, stuff like that. If you know any more about that stuff, let us know before we go back in there.
Right.
Potentially
That would be
tomorrow.
good.
So, I'll quickly describe to him the 120 feet tunnel collapse in one direction. Went the other way. There's a pond and then a residential area, and see if he. And then also specifically mention the stairs that go in a north direction, and see if he has any indication of what the right way would be.
Well, the stairs northward out of that cavern would lead you in the right direction towards the steadfast stone.
Steadfast stone.
Good to know. Maybe we can avoid that spectral being.
Probably only lives in the house.
I suspect that it was yet another of Blingden Stone's specters of the drow invasion.
Yeah,
They're all too common.
we heard sounds of battle. There are echoes from the past that live on.
It is certainly possible, and it wouldn't surprise me if that were the case.
You said that the gem that you carry, that ruby, it's able to cast a spell that will cleanse an area. Could that be used more than once? Perhaps as we walk through the area to lay those souls to rest on our way to the temple?
Unfortunately, it only contains a single casting of the Hallow spell.
Very well.
Still good to know. Perhaps Crow is still around and we can have him help us with this.
That would be a good idea.
That would be a very good idea. That's probably it for today, though.
Yeah.
Um, Yep.
Good job, Jormik.
Thank you, and you as well. We really showed him.
Yep. That we did.
We did. You want to drink again?
Yeah, let's
Let's
go do that.
Let's
and
do that.
Then tell everybody about this news.
We will drink and wait for the party.
Okay, so you guys return to the foaming mug. Inside, you find Eldith and Jimjar sitting with Dendru at the bar,
Hey,
drinking and
Dendru.
talking. Vera, nowhere in sight.
Yep.
Bryn still has also not returned yet. At this point, for you guys, it's probably late afternoon ish.
Okay.
But yeah, that is the scene that you return to.
Jim Jar sitting with Dendru.
They're all three of them are sitting together.
Is there room for us?
Yeah, it's like the whole bar.
Okay, so we're gonna sit down beside them. Jim Jar,
Hey guys.
bad news, man.
Bad news.
Yeah, we didn't realize that. We both thought that the Digomatics were like brother and sister, not that Sunny was married to that guy.
Dumbass.
I just whack. Not like, super hard, but
Whack
kinda
on
like
the head. Yeah, not an actual hit. I mean, I could have told you that.
Yeah, but you didn't.
You didn't ask.
Listen, when we're talking about how you can explain your absence to your past lover, being like, oh yeah, by the way, bro, she's married, is kind of a useful bit of information. we'll just gloss over the lack of social
I did seem like
competence.
slide by mission.
What?
Oh, nothing, not there.
By omission, yeah. Anyways,
I mean,
rough break.
yeah, when I told her I wouldn't go, she found someone that did.
Which is why you decided to follow her immediately after and were kidnapped by Drow.
Right. Did you hear about that, Dendru?
That I would have been in captivity for quite a few years if that were the case.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
That's rough.
It's-
Dendru, did you hear about that? Man,
It
he
was
he was held up for quite some time.
right. He was given some jobs when we got to the prison though, so they at least let him work a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he knows.
He knows you were a prisoner for all that time. That's rough.
Man,
All right, so what else are you guys doing?
drinking
Yep.
until Vera and Bryn return.
Yeah, because I don't want to have to tell the story of what we did today twice.
Okay. So, yeah, you guys drink and while away the afternoon. Eventually, Bryn does return and joins you guys at the bar. And Dendru actually greets him in particular. Okay, the discerning eye for magical items has returned, I see. Well, I've got a job for the lot of you that you might find interesting at the very least.
We're pretty much down.
Jesus, this is Greco Shield over there.
Who needs killed?
No. It's nothing like that.
All right, we're not as good as that.
Yeah.
but Go on.
Diplomatic missions,
It's
please.
terrible if that's our opening line, it's a terrible reputation.
Yeah.
Just like, we have a job for you. All right, who wants to kill? Whoa.
Oh, hang on. I'm
I
hiring
lost my
like-
puppy, all right?
Yeah,
Calm down.
this is the Underdark. It
Yeah.
seems to be the
Know
main,
what you're good at and what you're not. Right.
even though we're really good at convincing.
Right. Also true.
Well, so I know a guy who works in the mines. He's one of my people, and he found something strange, not too far from one of their work sites, or for an area that they're looking to start a new mining operation in. What he found was stone, but stone that's out of place. It's not
I'm getting real excited about this one.
invisible stone that, oh my god. No, it just doesn't belong. It's this large section of rock that's not from around here. It almost doesn't even seem possible. And trust me, we know stone.
He's like, bitch, please.
We think it has something to do with the Phaserus. It's the area where the stone is, as far as we can tell, is entirely inside Phaedrus.
I have 2 levels of madness, right?
I don't know. Maybe.
You what?
Do I have 2 levels of madness?
Yeah,
I think so.
Okay, cool. Never mind. Sorry.
probably.
And this guy was looking into it, and he happened upon some kind of heavy copper-plated door, but we're not sure what it's a door to. And he tried to open it, wasn't able to, and he said he heard some kind of female voice call out to him, and he got scared and bailed because there was just no way that it was, well, not likely something pleasant.
You had me at stone.
What do you want from us?
I want you to go investigate, figure out what the heck that door is to, and bring back anything of value. I will pay a very fair price for anything that you bring back, and I'll even get in contact with my people outside Blingdenstone and see what interesting and unique wares I can show you all.
All right.
This is perfect.
All right. We'll check it out tomorrow.
What elementals? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe we'll make that 2 days from now.
2 days from now. Yeah. When we have the silvered arrows, then we can fight the elementals in 2 days.
No.
Yeah,
Nah.
it's fine. I'm on board. Do you want us to do this like right now, or are we doing this tomorrow?
You tell me.
We could do it right now.
We could
Where's
probably-
your other lady friend?
Right. We probably want her with us.
Which one?
What do you mean? Which one? You were in love with her.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
That was
there's other two.
savage.
Oh, this is with us.
Oh, she's with you guys?
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't catch it. My bad.
Yeah, she was sitting with them at the
Yeah.
bar.
She's probably. I'm not quite sure, honestly.
I told you this morning I was working on my trinket.
She's working on her trinket.
Or I was working on something else, so I didn't.
Okay.
We'll do this tomorrow morning. Can you get us to the mine where this happened?
Yeah. No, I'll have my guy come and find you here in the morning, and he'll lead you out into the mines, and take you where it is.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. I'll drink to that.
I will drink.
Drink. Insert drinking drink here.
Drink.
All right.
I will sleep.
Same dog.
Okay. Late into the night, you finally finish the work on your amulet, and successfully test it one time, and you find out that it lasts for about 10 minutes when it is uninterrupted.
1,002, 1,003.
Right.
Where's freaking Bryn's time thing?
All right. Yeah, you come out to the very late night crowd.
I assume it means I need to reset it again.
Yes. And so, coincidentally, the skill challenge you did is not going to end up changing what the Tinker DC is to reset it.
But it could have.
It could have. Basically, it was a base number of 12, and then every time you failed one of the checks, it increases it by 1.
Okay.
So it ended up at 15 again.
Okay. Wait, so a fail increases by and beating.
So whenever you did not great on one of the checks, it increased the difficulty for resetting it each time, basically.
Okay, but there like if I crushed one, did it bring it down, or was it just only possible to go up?
No, it was going to be at that base level, but the other bit was the materials in question too.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
if you had done sweeping success, it probably would have decreased it.
Okay.
But you didn't.
Rip.
Hang on, where's it?
DM inspiration.
Not for this.
You already used it, I
No, you
think.
didn't. No, I didn't.
Oh.
It's 11.
11
Yeah.
is not reset.
Wait. All right, so I'd probably start that in the morning because it takes several hours to work and it's really late. So in the morning I'll start looking at it. I'll fuck it up.
That's fair.
And then
Yeah, the fresh eyes approach. So you wake up in the morning, and you're like, all right, let's reset this damn thing.
yeah, but I fuck it up. Okay.
Okie doke.
And once we're all together in the morning, assuming that our night went by uneventfully,
Mm-hmm.
we'll tell everybody about our expedition yesterday. And
Okay, my memory might have bags under my eyes. Maybe more so than usual.
It looked kind of like that at the end of the.
true.
I've got my hair up in a bun. My hands are covered in some this sooty material. I got a black smudge under one of my eyes right here on my cheek.
Cool. You should clean her up.
What did you clean off?
Hmm.
Oh, I guess that was a little dirty.
Shing, sparkle, sparkle.
But yeah, so I don't know what you guys think, but I think it's probably worth us going
Wait,
in.
so, no, that's great.
It's,
See, this is why This is why we went without you first, because
Right.
we knew there would be no point in bringing you.
It
first.
was just us, and we made it in and out fine.
Fine.
All we have to do is another 100 feet. The temple's probably right at the top of the stairs.
Yeah.
We drop the rock in. We avoid getting hit for 10 minutes. Then we get out. Easy.
Yeah. Then we spawn 3 guardians who do all the work for us.
Right.
Easy money.
This is the easiest 1,100 gold we've ever made.
And if we encounter just
The 11. Wait, what gold are you talking? There was no gold.
Yeah. Well.
For
We're,
the
We
temples.
also killed this drow hoe.
yeah.
you said you get your age reversed.
Right, yeah, it's fine. We have all this diamond dust, so even if something bad happens to us, we just go and we're fine. He was very, very kind, and I think as long as
Because we're helping him out, he's helping
Right.
us out, so it's kind of like
exactly.
And
There's
we'll get some blessing from his god if we do
0
this.
consequences. This has no drawbacks at all. We're not doing it today. We're doing the mine with the door that leads to.
And that is worse. I don't want to go in the phase of this.
It's fine.
Oh, you think the Phasers is worse than going to this temple?
At least that's reversible, and we
This
can
is
afford
also,
it.
they did that already, didn't you?
Yes, but we can't. I mean,
You want to go to the temple first, then? We're doing both.
I don't
We're,
really.
we're absolutely doing.
I mean, you don't have to come, but we're going.
I'm concerned that I don't want to give up a few decades of my life for a few bits of gold and a blessing.
Well, the ghost
Now-
isn't there.
Now, neither was the first one by the sounds of it, and you found it anyway. So,
There's just one ghost.
I will
though.
do the ghost titan elemental thing if you want, but I don't know how much diamond dust we have left, but if this happens to me, I'm the first one to get it fixed.
Sure.
I could afford 30 years. No, what's that, anyways?
I guess that sounds fair.
But we're doing that tomorrow. Today we're going into the metal door.
So today,
I'm pretty sure it was stone, but that's fine.
I have not done very, very well with the Phasers so far, and if there's more between here and home, I just
We will also get you restored. How many times have you fallen ill to the Phasers?
device. Why?
Twice? We could probably knock that down before we head out.
From here to home.
It's a similar spell to what
No,
reverse the
I think
age.
we're better off doing it after we go there. That way, we can get rid of the effect and knock it down.
What effect?
Right, but
If for some reason the Phasers, gets to our heads at all.
right, but it probably won't.
Probably not. I mean,
Like, we
it's-
slept in it tons of times. It's only happened a
it's,
few.
It's typically only when we spend a whole night in it that it's been a problem.
Right, we'll be in and out 20 minutes. 20-minute adventure.
If
Okay.
it seems bad, we'll run.
I'm. Alright. Promise me this.
Yes, well, we don't know what to expect either.
Sure.
If it's an ancient dragon waiting for me behind that door, I have a lot of confidence in my combat ability,
Well,
but not that much confidence.
I'll tuck it down. It's fine.
No.
Just, I haven't had the bard seduce it easy.
Yeah.
Okay, but alright, if it looks like we need to spend too long on the phasers, we turn back.
Alright,
Sure.
Alright?
deal.
Yeah, so if we have to spend a night in the phasers, we turn back.
That sounds like too long to me.
So, yes.
We have to spend 8 hours in the phasers, we turn back at 8 hours.
Alright. That I suppose I could do. And just, it takes about that long to come into effect, yes?
Typically.
That's what it has seemed like.
Right.
Remember that spell casting can be a little odd at times in the phasers.
We've gotten... So, for some of our party members, when the group first came to the great city of Krakelstook, we were able to get any of these effects removed at the end before we left.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's a little bit encouraging.
We know how to take care of it, at least.
Yes.
now.
Similar to when we were with the mind flayers, and perhaps it is just me who thinks this way, but my mind is my last sort of bastion of defense, and I don't like the idea of going batshit crazy down there, because I'm nothing without my sanity.
Sure.
So, sure.
Sure.
Alright, we go there.
Is there an yet unknown to us Zverfneblin that's eyeing our group as we eat breakfast?
The guy who's supposed to lead us there.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was still like. Oh wait, never mind. My bad. I like mentally was like, oh yeah, it's really late, and you came out, and then we're talking about this, but
Right.
No.
never mind. You tried to reset your amulet in the morning. Yeah. So you guys are up fairly early, and before any of you actually get up, there is a Zverfneblin who is there eating their own breakfast, and
Their own breakfast? What you said?
Yeah.
they're eating
He's
breakfast.
also eating
Like he got a breakfast for himself.
Okay,
so-
I thought you like packed a lunch. Just like,
None for you.
just like I know you serve food here. I brought my own Lunchables. Thank you very much.
Once a few of you exit your bedrooms and come out and are eating, he approaches and is I don't know, pretty average Joe Schmo looking Zverfneblin. Nothing super out of the ordinary about him.
It's just me. Do all these social networks look exactly the same?
That's
Uh,
racist.
I know.
You
But I agree.
I too am racist.
take it you're Dendru's guys?
Yes.
But more like he's our guy, but that's fine. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Whatever.
Semantics.
You guys ready to go?
Yep.
You haven't seen a Khajiit walking around here, have you?
Oh, cool.
More like prowling.
A Khajiit.
You know, that's a good. Yeah, it's this thing with fur on it.
Yeah, they sell wares. Khajiit has wares.
Bless you.
Makes sense.
I don't have any coins, so I haven't seen any Khajiit.
That's fine.
Fair. All right. That goes my last lifeline.
Guess we're going back to the skooma.
Right.
Did you want me to scout out this temple place tonight yet?
How far does your vision go again?
It goes as far as the eye can travel, up to an hour.
Dope. Yes.
Yeah. Tonight after. Yeah.
After.
After this.
I'll prepare the spell then. This morning. That's the prepared.
Okay.
Lesser restoration is 100% prepared for me if we're going into the phaser.
Key. Good life choices. Okay.
Onward and upward.
Yeah. All right. So I'm Greg. So
Hey, Greg.
let's
Greg.
go.
It's a great name.
Thanks. There's actually 3 G's in it.
the Greg name?
Greg, are they at the beginning or the middle?
Both ends.
Greg.
You got it.
You should add an ori to the end of it. Gregory. It's fine. We can discuss it on the way.
He likes to rename things.
Yeah, it's a great marketing strategy.
Gregory. Sure.
We go.
Ori.
Onward.
All right. You guys get everything you need.
Yep, we're good.
It's a bit of a trek.
Yep, we're good.
A stretch.
Okay. Sure. Limber up before we go for a hike. So, you guys head out from the Foaming Bug and start the trek out of Blingdenstone, basically. You head back to the main hall, out back through the maze, down the stairs at the entrance, and you find yourselves back into the labyrinth of tunnels surrounding Blingdenstone. It takes so many places.
Then we go just around the river bend. Then we got the shore.
Once more, just around the river bend.
So it takes you guys about 2 hours of traveling through the tunnels.
Getting my steps in today.
Before you come to a cave entrance that looks relatively nondescript at first glance, but you see, but the the dozen or so deep gnomes sort of standing posted in front of it sort of give it away. Greg on the way explains that you're heading to the Pickshine Mines. The Pickshine being the family name of basically the most influential family of the Miners Guild in Blingdenstone.
Miners Guild, population 300 Blingdenstone. There's like 4 guys in the guild.
You also see in front of this cave entrance 4 large boulders that look slightly out of place, but they're sort of like 2 by 2 in front of the entrance to the mines.
Have you found this before?
What? What?
The ropers?
Oh. But yeah, so they look like, I don't know, a little out of place. They're sort of like orderly and positioned there. Make a rocks check.
To what degree? 16.
16.
MB.
I'm gonna roll a
Deception. Yeah. Stealth.
a 16.
It's fine. They
No,
look orderly.
they were clearly placed here. They're not. Yeah, it's not like, okay, 4 boulders just plopped onto the ground in front of this cave.
Cool. Nothing sketchy about that.
All right. Greg flashes his work badge
About that. Yeah.
and just explains that you're with him. Yeah, basically like they're with me for today. And you guys make your way into the mines. You travel for another almost hour and a half through the mines, and as you're traversing them, Greg just explains that there's a singular entrance to the Pickshine mines, but the mines themselves snake on for like miles around Blingdenstone. This is a huge, expansive network of mine. But eventually, you reach a point where you see Phaserus in front of you. You enter said Phaserus. If you're going to mage armor, obviously I'm assuming you do it before you walk into the Phaserus, given that you know it can affect spellcasting. But you guys head into the Phaserus, and not too long after you get into the area of the Phaserus, you all notice the very obvious change in the type of stone. Like the color just very abruptly sort of like cuts and is different. And you travel probably only another 100 or so feet past that change in the rock when you come to a narrow crevice tunnel going into that differently colored rock.
You look at this. Why is this rock different?
I put both hands on the wall and commune with the stone. 17. I don't know, I'm looking at the rocks.
He's just
Vera
looking.
asked me to do it.
I asked somebody what the difference was with the rocks. Why they changed.
Does this make any sense why they like changed, or is this just like real weird?
It does not make sense. Like it's one thing to encounter like I guess sediment changes like vertically and steadily, but this was just like it almost looks like someone just like superimposed this other rock on top of, or like in the place of whatever other stone and cave was here before.
This is not supposed to be here.
It like doesn't even quite mesh perfectly with the other stone.
Do I recognize it all? Like I've seen this kind of rock before in any of the tunnels we've been in, or anything like that, or?
No, this wouldn't be a type of stone that you would have encountered in your portion of the world like this.
I pull out the black rock metal.
Okay.
Does it look like that?
No.
Okay.
It is not metal.
We're so bad at that. Does this rock look like the metal? Well, it's metal and one's rock, so.
All right. We keep going.
Yep.
I guess.
Okay.
Does it react? No.
This is very strange. I don't like it. This is not.
I was just trying to like touch screen my laptop, but I have my tablet that is obviously actually touch screen.
It's fine.
Seems like this rock was placed here by something or somehow.
Probably like a little bigger rock. Put it here.
Sure.
Yeah. The earth elementals. Like,
Right.
yeah.
As you take a few steps into this narrow passage, you see only 30 to 40 feet down that the narrow passage comes to an end at a dirty looking marble wall, and as you approach you see the bronze encased stone door. The bronze at this point has turned green due to age. And yeah, so you find yourself in front of this large marble wall and the bronze door.
Is it just like a sheer stone door, or are there carvings in it?
There's like some intricate pattern to it, but nothing like
There's no, like
it's not like, oh yeah, it's a person doing this like on the door. It's just
And it-
fancy looking.
it doesn't look like glyphs or any kind of arcane writing on the door.
Yeah, like style.
Make an Arcana check. And
Yeah,
I'll roll one for Bryn.
Oh, that was almost good.
Would history be appropriate? Because I was thinking about.
13.
I was thinking
Yeah, roll a history check.
if the style of the door, the way it was made, indicates any kind of lineage or heritage or.
Natural 20!
37, yeah.
So you recognize
What were you doing by skill
some of the glyphs, and Bryn actually has a similar realization that
We're like, you know what? Yeah.
right. So some of the symbols are reminiscent of some of the emblems or crests from an old fallen empire called Netheril. Netheril. And you recognize some of the symbols to be Netherese.
That's
In
really
nature. Like of Netheril. Like it, yeah.
And is this a language or is this just fake?
No, the Netheril was an empire. It was one of the great flying cities. Like there, I don't even personally remember exactly how many hundreds or thousands of years ago, but there used to be like a bunch of powerful wizards would be like, sweet, we're gonna make this giant enormous hunk of rock float in the sky, and then we're gonna live there. And Netheril was one of those giant flying cities.
Really cool.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Is this? So it was an empire. Did it primarily consist of a certain race or was it mixed?
Elves?
Gotta be elves.
It was mostly the top side humanoids you would expect. And I believe Jordan is correct. I believe that elves would have had a larger portion, I guess, of that society.
Makes
More
sense.
than a lot of the other, more than Neverwinter and Waterdeep do.
A long time ago.
All right. Okay. Well, as Bryn can attest, I'm sure. These symbols are reminiscent of an ancient empire that goes by Nethril. I don't know. I mean, what little I do know is that they were capable of making these huge floating cities out of rock. So, this is just speculation, but it's possible that this is was a floating city under construction, or it was a floating city that
So you're
crashed. I know we're underground
Well, so-
a bit.
So when the Empire of Netheril fell, when the Empire fell, the cities literally fell.
Oh, this guy. Yeah. So, or perhaps this is a crash landing. I know we're 10 days out from the surface, but I don't know how deep we are, so I can't say for sure how likely it is for something like this to be buried this deep. I don't know how big these cities were, these floating cities. I mean, the cities must be
That's what
pretty
they
big, right?
get for trying to live closer to the sun.
Well,
Super soaker.
It just seems like a bad idea, that's all I'm saying.
I mean, they are crash and burn, so
So are they all dead now, or do they still live?
I mean, I'm sure they have descendants out in the world somewhere, but there are no floating cities like this.
There's probably some pretty cool stuff in there.
Probably. They might also be protected by powerful magics, and who knows what kind of...
Well, we'll be relying on you to keep an eye out for that then.
Right.
I will. Do you want me to open the door? I can
Yeah.
try to open this.
Do it.
I will try to open the
Should
door.
check for traps first.
It's too late. He already said he's opening the door.
Okay. So you go to push on the door, and you realize
It's a full door.
from examining it and taking time to look at it that it's a door.
There's
a pull
door.
The one glyph of
It's a
it's
pull
just somebody pulling.
That's amazing. A Netherese pool door. No, so this door though is actually I forget the correct term for it, but it's not a hinge at the center, but the whole door rotates around a center axis so that it sort of
real cool.
opens and leaves two narrow gaps on either side when it's open.
Gotcha.
But you push on it and it doesn't open, at least not initially, not without legit efforts to where I would make you roll an athletics check.
Hey Nero, I think we need to push on this pretty hard.
All right, let's do this. How many of us
As
can
you
push
go to
it?
push on the door, you all hear a soft feminine voice.
In what language?
Hello? Is someone there? Oh, please. I need your help. I've been trapped in the dark for so long. So very long. Please? Won't you help to free me?
Yep.
4,000.
Insight check
On the
on the
on
voice.
the voice.
So the sound malicious.
So that's threatening.
Threatening.
I kind of pause a little bit. So we're gonna rescue this, or add somebody to this. We're gonna rescue this girl.
What language was it in?
So the voice was like in your minds.
Oh, so it didn't matter.
It was calling out to you. Yeah, like mentally. It was not an auto. Even though you heard it, but you could tell that it was not someone on the other side of the door just yelling at you.
I'll try to reach out with my mind and see and be like, "Who are you? Why are you here?" No response.
No immediate response.
Meat. I'll yell out.
But a few moments later, hello, is someone there? Please.
It's repeated, like exactly.
Not verbatim, but similar sentiment.
I don't like this one bit.
It's fine. It's probably fine. Whatever. It's probably a distraction. Some kind of magical voice box that's meant to scare off intruders.
By asking them to break in and free the girl.
Well, it's kind of creepy, isn't it? I mean, it's almost scaring you off right now. It's probably just a distraction.
What is scaring me off is the relic of an ancient civilization powerful enough to make cities float.
Well, apparently it fell, so whoever was powerful enough to make it float is not around.
Maybe the people that brought it down are still inside.
I guess
They-
that's possible,
I mean,
but they would be very old.
pretty sure I can take on anyone who wants to live closer to the sun. I can't be that smart.
Want to go one-on-one right now?
Well, no, you don't want to live that close. You want to live like 300 feet closer. These people wanted to live like in the air closer, which I think that's. the thing.
Eldith is like, wait, are you telling me that we're only 300 feet from the surface right now?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
I'll start digging. I'll fucking do it. I'm a dwarf. We were built for this.
Hole?
Dig stairs. Minecraft this bitch.
Like we'll just dig up, and eventually we will be out.
300 feet? We
could
could probably do it in like
a day. Yeah.
A day?
A day,
It's
yeah.
straight rock.
I was gonna say, have you I can't even imagine digging through dirt for 300 feet. I've dug like a 4-foot deep trench before. That's a lot of work.
I was
That's a
gonna
lot
say,
of shit that you have to get out of the
It
way.
could be up to like a month, but we could do it.
So I'll stop pushing on the door.
I mean, I don't
We haven't committed yet. We can still leave, or we can go through the door.
I start pushing on the door.
I will help.
Wait, we can leave. Push.
We could leave this way.
Right.
I really. There's no point in turning back at this point. We knew there was going to be a
Yes.
voice.
Make an athletics check at advantage because Yormik is also pushing with you.
Heck yeah. Oh no.
There's no part of me that didn't think we were going
11.
Right.
11
Yes.
doesn't budge.
Well, I don't know.
You really got to put your back into
I
it.
don't know what the requirement is to try and push again.
We push for 10 more minutes.
Alright, we tried.
I would like to try again.
Eldith comes up and is like, I'll show you how to do it. Alright, let's do it together.
Alright.
All right, Eldith, let's do it together.
I roll with advantage again.
Much better.
That will do it. 22.
22. This time, with all three of you putting your full weight and power into the door, it does finally creak and rotate open. What did I just hear? Am I
Sounded like a
crazy?
dog.
Oh, it might have been. Yeah, okay. It might have been one of the dogs. It's just
That
like
sounds like that.
I was like, man, like I know this is supposed to be creepy, but like if your house is actually haunted, I'm gonna be a little pissed.
I've heard. It might be haunted, but that's another story.
Oh, that door is open still.
Yes.
Probably. That's why we hear it better.
But it sounds like it's coming from that corner. So it's a confusing part. But doors open over there.
I feel like I think I hear it.
I hear it coming from over there.
Same.
My ears are just broken.
Okay. So we open the door to the haunted dog place. No, so you open the door, and inside
There's another one of those ghosts.
I'm old again.
I am disturbed.
So you enter a room, or you see into
So
a
we
room,
see the room first.
right? That
We're going in.
it looks to be a square room, about 30 feet by 30 feet. Opposite the door that you just opened, you see a staircase that descends to somewhere that you can't see from here. But otherwise, the room appears empty as you peer into it.
I will cast See Invisibility.
You do not see any invisible creatures in here currently.
Alright. One of these days.
It's like I like how everyone has like one thing that they have that's just like this has literally never been helpful. like divine sense has rarely been great. Like
Rarely, never.
I've used absorb elements once.
right, and then
Worth it.
see invisibility. You saw a guard one time
Right.
in Graggle Stew.
Where there are known invisible people.
Right? and Bryn is just like, yeah, man, I got this lesser restoration, then everyone needs remove curse. Great.
Great. I will walk into the room, feeling good about it.
Do we see anyone inside?
What?
We don't see anyone inside.
You don't see anyone inside this
Okay.
first chamber.
I call out.
As you enter, you look to the right and see a large stone, sort of 3D like diorama of a person clearly dressed and depicted as some sort of nobility, surrounded by attendants and slaves and the other various trappings of wealth and power. In the distance behind that front focal point, you see a vista of floating cities covering a lot of the rest of the walls of this chamber.
Beautiful, really.
It's quite gorgeous. Is there anything that looks
the,
like...
the feminine voice continues its pleas with you.
Okay.
So there's only one way to go, right down.
Onward.
Let's press on.
Yep.
Press on.
Across from the entrance, there's the staircase, the entrance to which is flanked by some empty stone torch sconces on the wall. You look down the stairs, see that it descends about 20 feet to a landing, and then turns and sort of like a, you know how staircases go like back and forth. So you begin your descent, passing one landing, 2, 3, 4.
Spiraling down.
Basically. So after you descend basically a total of 100 feet down from that entrance chamber, you emerge into another room. This one a little bit larger than the previous entrance room. And this room just looks like a shrine. You see shreds of dusty tapestries scattered across the floor. Carvings on the walls are have been defaced with like deep gouges, making whatever the actual image below was unrecognizable. To the left in this room, you see a pale gray altar made of marble that stands gouged and cracked against the wall. You see doors both across the room in front of you and to the right.
We're still in the phasers, right?
You are still in the phasers.
Big time. Okay.
There were doors in front of us to the right, right?
Mm-hmm.
How big's the room?
About 30 by 40.
30 wide.
40 wide.
30 wide.
We went right last time, Nero. You say we go straight this time?
We went both ways last time, but yeah, we can go straight.
This is the way we haven't gone. We'll go straight. Do the doors budge if I walk straight forward?
They turn into a giant mouse and bite.
We're in a mimic.
Yikes.
Big yikes.
So as you cross the room, you realize that the ground that you're on is basically like covered in dust, like a layer of dust that you can reasonably surmise is from whatever damage and defacing occurred in this room. You cross the hall and come to another door. It is not locked, that you can tell.
Just look back. Nero, you think I should open it? Nero?
The alternative is just standing here, so...
I will open the door. You said there's dust on the ground?
Mm-hmm.
Does it look like this has been opened recently? Like, is there a car... Like, does this open the same way that the other door did, where it, like, pivots?
Yes, it opens in a similar fashion. Make an investigation check.
Some things I want to check out too.
My intelligence plus 0, so that's going to be 12.
12? It doesn't look like this door has been opened recently.
Cool.
But you do... Wait, sorry. Were you going to check something?
Yeah, how you said there was art on the walls and it was all been desecrated?
Yeah, it's like all been defaced and ruined.
Has it been like cut? Has it been clawed at? Has it been...
It looks like all sorts of like scratches and cuts and gouges.
Okay. Were the scratches like clawed? Or were they just like a sword? Like single big lines? Or just like...
Make an investigation check.
That makes sense. Natural one.
Natural one. Hard to tell. They are varied. There's a wide array of them.
Spoon clay.
Could have been anything and everything.
Looks like perhaps a pastry roller was taken to this thing.
Maybe a spoon or
It's hard
two.
to tell. Yeah,
Two.
but I think like a rolling pin, probably.
Yeah, that seems
Many
right.
forks.
Okay, and the shrine, made of marble. Is there any icons or imagery or anything that might indicate what religion is associated to, if it's related to religion at all?
So the problem with all of the defacing that has occurred is it is virtually impossible to make out.
It's not just the art; it's the altar too.
Yeah, everything. The literal, the structure of the altar, any markings, even just the structure of it, has been chipped and gouged and damaged.
Okay, and the only
What's your passive investigation?
high 17.
17. Okay, so yeah, just right being as observant as you are, the dust on the ground, like dust like this, it happened from something
Yeah.
more recent than the lack of
Why
other.
isn't there dust everywhere? Why is it only this room?
Right.
Yeah. I don't know if it's the rugs, but there's a lot more dust in here than I would expected. Compared to the other rooms, can I pick it up and then try and like put it in my hands, try and figure out what it might be made of? Is it just literally just normal dust, or is it dirt?
So you pick it up and touch it, and it really, it basically is the remnants of all the damaged stone in the room.
Oh, okay. All the damaged stone. It's like stone powder.
Right. So all of the defacing that occurred in this room,
Caused the dust.
like there's chips of stone and dust and damaged dirt and all of that.
I mean, we should be careful. I don't. Well, you said it was more recent. What makes it indicate it was more recent? Just previously.
Maybe it would be like in contrast to how like hollow and old the rest of the rooms have been so far. Like we were just in one where it was like untouched. For
Yeah, but if both rooms have been untouched for 1,000 years, if there was dust in this room 1,000 years ago, it would remain there for 1,000 years.
Sure, that's true.
It's a little. I'm trying to figure out how to.
Phrase it.
Yeah, how to phrase the thought. The crevices, or like the deep cuts into the stone wall, are devoid of like what you would expect of like naturally occurring dust. If that makes sense, they're almost like clean. Like they have like the cuts on these walls and everything haven't been exposed for however many countless years.
Okay. It looks like there are parts of the room where the scratches on the walls don't have dust settled in them yet. So based this old, I would assume dust had settled everywhere, and these scratches look like they might be newer. Past couple of weeks, maybe.
It's particularly apparent on like the altar, where like some of the surface of the altar has some dust on it, but then where there are chips out of it, there's like not accumulated dust in there.
Okay. So something recently was through here, and it just got angry or something.
So we went through the straight door, right?
I pushed.
You didn't go through it yet. You
I'm
were
about
just.
to.
He was like, "Should I open this?" And then we started talking about other
Okay.
stuff in this room.
But the other set of doors, do they look like they've been opened?
Does the dust look like it's been moved on the ground?
Neither the dust near both doors. Neither of them appear to have been disturbed.
Is that miner still with us?
No, he's waiting outside.
Yeah, I figured there's no way.
Alright, well,
He got scared.
I don't really know where, unless something can go through walls or something.
Could you set an alarm on that door
That's a
when
bad
we go
idea.
through this one?
It'll take 10 minutes though.
We've plenty of time.
Sure, I'll go over and set to work. I'm putting down some wire around the copper door.
Okay.
And basically anyone who's not a member of our party will trigger in.
Deal.
We don't want to get flanked.
Over the door to the right, correct?
Yes,
the one you-
and I'll
okay.
make it silent but mental.
Gotcha.
I don't want to get flanked.
I could also cast Arcane Lock on it.
We're gonna go through it in a minute here. When we open this up, and there's
I
a
can
cave in on the other
I
side.
can open it, but that makes it very hard for anybody else to open it.
That's your call. It's not
Okay.
a bad idea.
But the alarm spell will do for now. We'll see what's couple times here.
So yeah, you take 10 minutes, during which time there's no other interruption or anything other than the occasional plea from the disembodied voice in all of your minds.
Still weird.
It's very distracting.
But alarm's a simple enough spell, and after 10 minutes, you are confident that it is in effect. However, I do need you to roll a d20.
Yeah. 13.
13? Okay.
You know, she's been trapped down here for probably thousands of years. You'd think she could wait another hour and not constantly bother us about it?
That's a good point.
I don't know if you're stranded on an island and then you suddenly see a ship. You wave pretty frantically.
You know, ships like coming right at you and there's a giant sign that says, "We're coming for you."
Valid.
Touche, salesman. Touche.
Valid.
So are we going this way?
Just saying, I don't completely blame that.
I suppose not. Anyway, is effectively, you know, the same.
Mine has a southern accent. It speaks dwarven.
Yeah. That was a accent.
Yeah.
I will open the door that goes forward.
Okay. You push open this door. So it's very thick, like the first one. So even when it's opened, it's like a 10-foot wide door, but it's thick enough so that like the spaces on either side, once it's open, are only about like 3.5 feet wide.
Sure.
Behind it, you see a short hallway that opens up into another room.
Every time you say short or tall, I'm like
Short dwarf.
he was like a pale one. I was like thinking he was describing a person every time.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You see a short hallway, a tall hallway,
A pale, short hallway.
pale hallway.
Staring back at you down the hallway is the
a
pale,
door.
short
Yeah.
hallway.
I will walk into the hallway.
I'm gonna.
But-
Listen, next to my team, I'm gonna make the most misleading sentences. I swear to God.
Just try and mess with people. So yeah, inside this room, you see 4 rectangular, what appear to be sarcophagi of some sort, one on each corner of the room.
Cool.
Are they standing upright?
No, they are basically perpendicular to the entrance of the room,
Okay.
and then there's 2 on each side.
Okay. And what are the how long is the hallway? What are the dimensions of the room?
The hallway's only about 10 feet long. The room is 20 by 30.
Okay.
Relatively small.
Is there another door on the other end? Sorry, you're probably about to say that.
Not one that you see.
Okay.
But when you enter this small chamber, you see that the lid of each sarcophagus has a sculpted image of a robed human figure in repose.
With a glance, can we tell if they're all the same in figure or are they unique?
The lids all look very similar.
So it's just the 4 sarcophagi. There's nothing else in the room.
Sarcophagi.
Yeah,
Sarcophagi.
that was what I wasn't sure of. Was the last-
Sarcophagi.
if it was an AG or an OG. The real OG.
Sorry, what was the question? What did you ask
It's
me?
just 4 sarcophagi in the room. There's nothing else.
Make a perception check.
My question was if all the carvings are the same on the sarcophagi.
17.
Roll your. What'd you roll for? Or no, you. Yeah, they look the same.
Identical? Okay.
Yeah. Looking around the room, you see the 4 sarcophagi, and that's it. Nothing. No obvious doors or other exits out of the room, or any other particularly notable artwork or patterns on the wall.
Divine sense.
Okay.
I think that's a yes.
Let me pull out my divine sense notes,
Yes, sir.
or you could just explain it to me.
Nope.
And
I use Pot of Greed.
It allows me to draw 2 cards from my deck.
Reborn
And
the
add
monster.
them to my hand.
Like this.
Reborn the monster.
So you use your divine sense, and you get a faint, musty smell. It is mildly unpleasant, but you don't get the sense of any other specific entities within range.
Do you guys want
This
to?
is gross.
We could see what's inside these.
Should we figure out what that's
No,
from?
I haven't.
I still won't tell you.
Yours.
Is it from the mummy?
That was my first guess. 'Cause only because we're in Kafka, and I'm like, it kind of sounds like.
Yep. That guy, the
Sorry,
guy
were
said
you-
it like 3
were-
times. During the-
Jordan,
I was
said
asking.
something?
I was asking them. Yes. Should we look inside or go back?
Look inside what?
The people are buried with valuable things sometimes, and he said to bring back anything valuable.
That was it this place? That's
Yeah,
it.
that is this place.
Yes, but he didn't say to give it back to him necessarily.
Right, so either we keep it or we give it back to him for more
I
money.
will say that good things rarely come from disturbing the dead. But not always. Sometimes great things, like rubies and diamonds, come from disturbing the dead.
Exactly. Did you get anything specific from these, or?
It's not good. It's not like demons or anything like that, but
We could come back here at the end on our way out. It's pretty close to the entrance.
probably smart. Let's not disturb the sarcophagi until we are prepared to leave.
Sounds like a plan.
Even that's assuming we do decide to disturb them at all.
Which we probably will.
I can't stop you guys, so
Oh,
probably.
that's fair. The right then.
Yep.
Other door.
We backtrack to the disturbed room and go through the alarm door.
Okay. You open that door, which again opens the same way, to another 10-foot hallway with another door immediately there.
For the right. Do we want to be leaving all these doors open behind us so that we can make a quick escape? It seems like a smart plan.
Yep.
To be close to one of the sarcophagus? Sarcophagus room? Choose that one.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Close the one to the sarcophagi.
Yeah.
Noted.
And that one, you know what? I'm gonna cast Arcane Lock on that one as we leave it.
Okay. Roll a d20.
You know, I keep forgetting about that. 3.
3. Okay. Noted.
Just needs to not be a 1. Probably. Or a 20.
Okay.
Oh, did I need to do that for see invisibility?
Yes.
5.
You start spewing bubbles again.
Right. I'm gonna try to open the door at the end of this hallway.
How long is this hallway?
10 feet.
Yeah, it's a real short hallway. Opening it again.
Yep.
Okay. You open this door, no problem. It opens up to a room that's about 30 by 40. Inside, you see stone blocks standing against the western and eastern walls that are carved with different like niches, like sort of shelves inlaid into them. And on each of these small shelves are canopic jars. In the middle of the room, there is a wide stone sarcophagus atop a large large slab of black marble. The lid of the sarcophagus is inlaid with dust-covered mosaics depicting great floating cities above a beautiful landscape. The lid of the sarcophagus looks incredibly heavy. You don't see any other obvious entrances or exits from this room.
Hey, Nero,
So
you don't do that thing again where you see if there's going to be a demon that's going to come get us.
yeah, I do it. Divine
Okay.
sense again.
You sense nothing from this room. Not even the scent or anything. Just nothing stands out about this room to you.
So there's no other exits that we see. There are jars on shelves that are carved out of stone blocks to the left and the right.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big sarcophagus resting on a black marble slab.
There's jars probably have its organs or something. And
Does-
then if we break the jars, it'll start sucking our faces.
I'm gonna check
and then it'll
something.
get the skin.
Does the sarcophagus look like it is connected to the black slab?
Not really. It looks like it's just a really heavy thing sitting on top of another really heavy, sturdy marble slab. Yeah, like it. It doesn't look obviously connected by anything.
So we've been through every door we've seen so far, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think we're missing something here.
I'll sleep while checking the walls.
The walls.
Yeah.
Is there a chance that? Yeah, let's go ahead and check the walls first.
Have we entered this room properly yet, though?
I did, at least.
Yeah, you open the door. Like there's no like hall to it. The door opens into this room.
Right. I just didn't know if we were still standing at the threshold if we went in.
I assumed you at least stepped into the room to be able to look around in it.
Okay.
I would have.
Yeah, I
Okay.
did too.
So yeah, I'll start looking at. I'll start checking out the walls to see if there's any kind of like hidden doors or anything like that.
Okay, make an investigation check, please.
15.
15. No, you don't find any creases or crevices or any hidden levers or anything. It just seems like there are shelves on a wall with jars.
All right. Well, that's it. It's gonna take me some time to actually search the room.
While she's doing that, is there any chance that this sarcophagus is not a sarcophagus?
Is it like, what else would it be?
I don't know. Something else hidden? That's what
You
you're
know-
looking for.
I'm gonna do, while Vera's looking around, I'm gonna spend a bit of time looking for any sort of magic going on here. I'm gonna ritual cast detect magic.
Okay. Yormik, what are you looking at?
Look at the sarcophagus. If I like tap on the side of it, does it sound hollow?
No.
No. Okay.
It sounds like heavy stone.
Cool. I'm gonna keep looking at the sarcophagus.
Freaking, you had me concerned you were gonna touch the sarcophagus and I was gonna suck you into it.
He knocked on it, right?
Yeah.
He did, yeah.
All I'm saying is floating cities that crash to the earth surrounded by phasers should have more than 2 rooms. Like there's something else going on here.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure what it is.
Well, so this voice we keep hearing,
There's also that.
and we don't know where that's coming from. Maybe inside this thing.
I'll wait for Nero to finish casting detect magic.
Okay.
I rolled a 10, by the way, for the phasers roll.
Thank you. Yeah, your detect magic ritual cast completes, and the aura lights up, but you don't. You don't see. Actually, The lid of the sarcophagus has an aura of illusion magic.
I'm going to check out the other room as well while I have this going, but just so everyone's aware.
You also actually get a small, like a little blip that almost gets lost behind the illusion magic, but a small bit of transmutation magic as well.
The lid of this sarcophagus has some sort of illusory, and as well as transmutation magic on it. I'm gonna check out the previous room.
We should all go together.
Alright.
Just to be safe.
Before we investigate this sarcophagus any further, while I have this going still.
Right. If anyone, let's just go with Nero, just in case.
So we'll backtrack into the desecrated room
Okay.
and look around in there. Because that goes for 10 minutes.
Right.
I believe that's the duration.
In this room,
Yeah.
nothing
Okay.
lights up with your detect magic.
Should we check out the other
Yep.
sarcophagus room while I at it?
I suppose so.
Okay.
You enter the sarcophagus room, or the room with the several sarcophagi, and again, in here you don't get any hits on your detect magic.
It appears only that large sarcophagus had any sort of magic associated with it.
I think we should open it.
Well, like I said, if the lid is an illusion, perhaps the entire lid is not actually there.
I could cast Mage Hand and run my hand through it, as it were, see if it's not there.
We could try that.
Alright, let's head back there then.
Alright.
Your lock still works on this room, right?
Yes. It will allow us passage, but no one else.
Alright. So back into the big room.
We want to go with the Mage Hand dip in the punch.
Do you detect magic on the door?
It's just going.
I know, but I'm saying, like, do you notice it on the door?
He said the only thing that had magic was. Well, I guess I would have seen.
My spell should have been on there.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, you would have seen the alarm spell
Okay. No, the arcane lock spell.
on the.
Other
to the
Yeah,
sarcophagus.
sorry.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah. I just want to make sure that, like, it didn't not go off and I didn't realize it because of that
Gotcha.
roll. And then, like, me saying, yeah, I could have spelled that lower, and you walk by the door with, like, no aura, you're like, are you sure?
Okay.
It's totally gone, man.
Okay.
Alright. Back in the big sarcophagus
Close the
room.
door.
Mage
Okay.
Hand.
Who do you close the door behind you?
Yeah.
We close the arcane lock door.
Gotcha. Okay. Mage hand, and you're doing what?
Run the Mage Hand over the top of the sarcophagus and see if it's actually solid. 19.
That was so close to a 1.
Really close.
Oh man.
Oh.
You.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So your mage hand goes off, no problem. You basically use the mage hand to touch the lid of the sarcophagus. Seems solid.
Is the lid a different material than the rest of the sarcophagus?
No.
We have to open this thing. I need to know.
Vera, how costly is it for you to dispel magic?
I was thinking the same thing. Costly, but not so costly that I'm not willing to do it.
Okay.
So I'll give it a shot here.
It'll still leave you with options after.
A few, yeah, it's one of my better spells, but I as long as we're not planning on making this, a very arduous trip, I don't think I'll be out of enough resources before we're through here.
Okay.
There's only a few rooms. We'll see if there's more.
Alright.
And I'll cast Dispel Magic on the illusion spell, or on the lid, rather, since I can actually see the aura.
Casting dispel magic on the lid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
16. 15? 16.
You don't add anything to it.
You just roll. Just roll d20.
Oh.
Oh, that was for the Phaser's effect.
Gotcha.
Can't roll atomic magic roll.
Dispel magic just happens.
It just happens unless it's higher. It's higher than 3rd level.
Oh.
You have to roll.
Probably.
Let's just move so much. I'm trying to be crazy. Like that's still light up.
So you cast the spell targeting the lid, and as you finish casting it, you hear a booming voice. You have disturbed the tomb of Brysis of Came. Accursed are you, most miserable of creatures. And I need everyone to make a charisma saving throw.
12.
Is this magic?
Plus 8.
Am I being charmed and or
Plus
paralyzed?
2. Plus 2
No,
because you're
that's
near
okay.
me. Did you add it?
Yeah.
Yes, it's magic.
Advantage!
Am I being charmed and or paralyzed?
Ooh.
No.
Dang! Is it an illusion?
It is not an illusion.
21 for me.
21. Okay.
16.
Plus
16.
12.
12.
I have -1.
I have plus 7
Did you do
to
the plus
saving
2
throw.
because you're near me?
Bryn
18.
Bryn crushed it. You're good. You're good.
12.
Jimjar, Eldith, and Yormik all fail.
Even with my plus
Yikes.
2 from them being near me?
Let me double check.
Polymorph, maybe?
Yeah, no, Eldith doesn't have a charisma modifier, so
Okay.
and Jimjar got a nat 1.
So she throws,
okay.
she throws a little pointer and crashes the game.
So each of you
Yikes.
is cursed
Oh.
with disadvantage on attack rolls and saving throws. At least for the time being. You, Nero, with your detect magic, you see the magic on the lid of the sarcophagus like flare in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
But after the flare and the yelling voice, the magic on the lid, both auras seem to have disappeared.
Well, that got rid of it. Is everyone feeling okay?
No. I think. I feel weird. I think.
It's probably fine.
What did the voice call it? The curse of what? Or the tomb of who?
Brysis of Cain?
Brysis
So
of
close.
Came, Khaem.
Did we notice any visible change in the lid?
No visible change in the lid.
I wanted to spell the top, but it doesn't seem to have done anything except activate the woman's voice and scare the shit out of all of us.
And I'm feeling a bit slow at the moment.
Yeah, what happened to you, Extra?
I have disadvantage on everything.
Oh, I thought that was all of us.
No.
that's
No,
just
only the people
me.
that failed.
Oh, I feel fine then.
Yeah.
Never mind. You know what? It was weird. It was just a temporary thing. I don't know.
Well, we might as well open it now.
Roll a
Yes.
history check.
What about me?
Brandon joined
Religion? Or not?
You can also roll a history check.
13.
Bryn is also going to roll.
They have
13.
Netherese history classes in Grackles.
Right. What'd you get?
5.
No, yeah, and I rolled a natural 3 for Britain.
So it wasn't 13.
Brysis of Came does not ring bells for any of you.
Must not have been that important.
Should we look inside now then?
I guess.
I think we already activated some nonsense here.
I already feel like shit.
Oh, actually. What was this? Let's go check on the door.
Which door?
The door in the room behind us.
The locked door?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go back one room and just like, I want us to set the door.
You just listen at the door.
Yeah.
Make a perception check.
Awful. Like, 7.
You don't hear anything.
Alright, never mind. Just my superstitions. Let's go investigate this sarcophagus.
All right.
Okay.
Going back.
All right, back into the
It's like a 10-second
big
walk.
sarcophagus.
It's like, you know, it's,
Right? Yeah, it's not that far.
It's like walking between the kitchen.
Right, exactly.
So yeah, you come back to the room with the one large sarcophagus.
Nero, help me out. I go up and I start pushing the lid off the thing.
All right.
In case of a crowbar or something.
Make an athletics check with advantage, or you can each roll.
17.
17.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes some time. This you and Yormik, Eldith chips in. Like, this thing is crazy heavy. This is like hundreds of pounds of stone that's been in place for who knows how long. And the initial push just to break that first surface tension of it sitting there is really tough. It literally takes you the better part of a minute with all three of you working together to get the lid pushed open far enough to see what's inside.
No, not 1, 2, 3. Then go on 3. 1, 2, 3. Come on. It's not rocket science.
Once you get the lid about halfway off, basically far enough that you can see inside it, but not far enough that it's just going to like fall off the other side.
We've cracked it.
Right. Inside, you see a life-sized statue of a person, sculpted and painted to make it appear that she is sleeping comfortably.
Don't suppose this thing was making the voice you're hearing?
Has that voice still been calling out, or has it stopped?
It still is calling intermittently. It doesn't really come attack. Like, there's no sense of direction with it, though.
Yeah.
It's just in your mind. It's not like you don't feel like you're hearing it from a specific direction.
Yeah.
Does it radiate any magic, Nero?
It does not.
Ooh.
Okay.
Should we smash the jars?
Well, we should
Check inside at
just
least.
open them, Nero. Don't be barbarian about this.
I will look inside one of the jars.
Swing the greatsword, one swoop, smash.
You start opening jars and looking at them.
Sure.
I'll join in.
Yeah, you
do not.
open a jar, and it's just this putrid smell. Inside is just
Guts.
unknowably long, desiccated organs,
Ugh.
whatever those look like after
Probably
hundreds
really dried
and
out,
or
that's why.
thousands of
Probably,
right.
probably dust.
Probably.
Nearly.
They could hit. How many are there?
There are a dozen.
How many organs are there? Is there more jars than the organs? I'll start picking.
Make a medicine check.
14.
14. So
15.
it's hard to make out what each of the organs used to be,
Well, that's 1,000 years. You can't tell.
but you can tell, like, if you go through all dozen jars, there's a few too many like very similarly shaped bits to have come from a single set of organs.
Great. Okay. All right. Well, this is creepy.
Well, I mean, there were 5
more,
sarcophagi total,
I know.
and we didn't see any of these jars in the other room.
I think Dendru sent us on a goose chase. Might as well head out before the phasers gets to any of us.
Nah. Fully open the sarcophagus. Attempt to.
Okay.
Wait, was it not open all the way?
It was like
Really?
halfway open.
Yeah, we only cracked it.
Oh yeah, never mind. Sorry, I thought we pushed the thing all the way off.
So you push and shove and push it the rest of the way off, and with just this incredibly loud thud. The stone sarcophagus lid falls and hits the marble on the other side, and then crashes to the floor, and cracks just in two pieces.
Good job. You broke it.
Yeah.
And nothing happens that you can tell. I mean, you can the statue of Brysus laying comfortably in there is now fully revealed. But that's it.
Hey, Yorick. Is that bit of stone, is it hollow?
Is it hollow?
What
The
bit?
statue.
What do you,
The statue. Is this like a casing that once held a body that has since decayed and turned to dust? Or is this a solid statue?
go ahead and roll rocks for it. Man, that D20 is
This is
just
ridiculous.
like going on trips around your dice.
25.
25? Jesus. No, you are
I'm so good at rocks.
you are supremely confident that this is just a solid through and through life-sized statue replica of this person. There's nothing about it that makes you think that it's hollow.
You know it stands out.
You also notice that when trying to sort of look at it and examine it, you cannot move it. It will not budge an inch.
You know it stands out.
Huh.
There's this black slab
Yep.
on the floor, yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
I wonder if this moves. I wonder if this is covering the actual...
Does it look like the slab, like the marble pedestal, has shifted at all?
With that rocks check, no.
Dang
It just looks like a solid marble slab.
Okay, I will blow this thing up. How do we get?
I would like to check the
You have dynamite?
I have no idea.
the underneath of the lid.
True archaeologist.
Just look at it.
The underside of the lid.
Yeah.
Make an investigation check.
Just see if there's anything on there. It's gonna
Any writing?
21.
Some more artistic carving, but no glyphs or writing that you can make out.
So we're just gonna ignore that there are definitely 4 skeletons walking around in that other room.
It's probably fine.
We'll go take care of them in a little bit. Should we try and...
It has to. This thing. There's something.
Should we try and move this black slab? The whole thing?
Sure, let's do that.
It's gonna be a real awkward push, but we'll give it a try.
We'll do it. Yeah. We're gonna try to shove the whole thing.
I think it probably makes more... Shoving sounds like something we couldn't get traction on. Maybe like pulling on the corner.
Are you trying to move the sarcophagus or the marble slab underneath it?
Yeah, let's start with the sarcophagus.
Let's start with that,
Good call, DM.
Go ahead and make your athletics check with advantage.
Montage.
Because bros and elf.
Oh yeah.
23.
23 doesn't budge an inch.
Oh.
Alright.
Slab.
Black slab.
Run it back.
Don't even roll.
It's cocked. It could be a natural 20. It wasn't.
Okay.
That's 20. The slam was easily.
We have to go check.
Not even a little bit. Does it move?
Can I? You check to see if the slab and stuff had moved. Not when you used the rocks check. You said.
He didn't check if it could move. He
Yeah.
checked if it had moved. Yeah.
Can I look around to see if there's any kind of indication that any of these pieces would slide, or there's any like air, like I can feel any.
Make an
air?
investigation check with advantage because you have Mr. Stone expert with you.
Nice.
Well, 26.
26.
Yeah.
You don't see any signs of anything that would make you think that this slab could move.
Well, and the sarcophagus.
We have to go back.
Or the sarcophagus.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't. I think the sarcophagus and this marble piece look about as solid as anything.
You guys have killed skeletons before, right?
Yeah, zombies
Yeah.
too. Yeah,
Alright.
we'll be fine.
We'll get some more practice.
What?
The room with the 4 sarcophagi.
Yep. Also, I'm not done. We're not done here yet, but for now, we are. I'm not sure about a curse or about a voice screaming that we disturbed the sleep of a statue that's clearly not the actual body.
Yeah, there's something else. There's something under, like, does the ground feel hollow beneath me, or does this feel like floor? Oh no.
He's just getting his yes card ready.
No, sorry. What'd you say?
Does
What'd you
the
ask me?
ground feel hollow beneath me?
I mean, it's stone. Feels like pretty solid stone. Also, no, I'm just noting the 3 people that got cursed by the curse. That's what I was
We
like,
still,
I should
we
read
still
that.
have an
I
alarm.
thought you were gonna pass me
in
something that
this.
said like
We
you
do,
were
yes,
now
you're
racist.
right. Alright.
Oh, man. That's funny.
Alright, let's back out of here and close this door and go see what fresh hell awaits us in the locked room.
So could I be behind this altar, maybe?
Yeah?
For the secret passage? But let's go check out the other
Agreed.
sarcophagus first.
Let's open up all of these ones too.
Yep.
Okay.
Open this door cautiously.
You open the door back into the 4 sarcophagi room, and nothing. They all still appear closed as they were before.
Okay, so now...
Just like
So now... No, stop. So now looking at the lids, does the image on the lids of these match the appearance of the one that was in... Does it match Bryce's appearance?
There is definitely a strong resemblance, and that would be a reasonable inference to make.
Okay. So Bryce has died 5 times,
Right.
apparently.
Oh, dude, what?
And all of her organs are out of her body,
Right.
but she's made of stone.
Right.
Seems like an interesting civilization.
This
Alright,
is very strange.
let's start opening these, I guess. Now that we're... What's
Yep.
that?
We'll get to this in a second.
Okay, so we'll start opening the other...
Sarcophagi.
So, first of all, let's look around in the room to see if there's
Anything shift?
any
Is
sort of...
anything mobile?
Any
Any of these on wheels?
Make,
See if there's like a battery ram or
Right.
something.
look around the room. Nothing appears to be out of place from the last time you were in here.
Okay.
No, I mean
Oh,
useful,
my bad.
like winches,
Um,
anything.
Yeah, no, nothing.
Specifically winches.
No
leverage.
winches or battering rams or wheels of any kind that you can see currently.
Alright, time to open the sarcophagi and find the lever to open the other rooms. thing.
Yep.
What's
Absolutely.
on the... Is there anything on the walls in this room, or is it just plain stone?
There's like some decoration to it, but
Nothing.
nothing extravagant like some of the other rooms have had.
Which sarcophagus do you start with?
What?
Which sarcophagus do you want to start with?
All of them. Same time.
How about no?
Back left.
Back right. It is.
Okay, I leave the room before they start doing this. Like just past the door.
Okay.
You didn't leave the room for the other.
Yes, well there was the big booming voice before.
Alright, well I start pushing open the back right one.
Wait, so the back right one?
Yep.
Okay. You approach it, you grab the lid, and as soon as you lay your hands on it, this black shadow rises out of it.
Shit.
And the
Yikes.
rest of you see similar looking black shadowy figures rise out of each of the other sarcophagi in the room.
There we go.
Yep.
And we will start next week with Rolling Initiative.
There we go.
Boy.
Woo!
I'm glad I had an arcane lock on that door that, things that can pass through stone.
It's fine.
They were spying on you the whole time. Just like, this guy thinks he can lock us in here. No, but cool.
Oh man.
All right.
I
Like
really,
a lot of random stuff happened this. Well, not random, but like
I really
like
thought.
actively did more in this session.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We went into. So we saw ghosts.
Investigated the rock
I
blight.
aged 30
worked
years.
on your amulet. You aged
Aged
30
30
years,
years,
Bryn
and
sang.
then did a. What'd you do? I did a cleanse. I feel like I'm 30
Yeah.
years younger now.
Did a detox. Intermittent fasting.
Cool. All right. Well, yeah, that's it for tonight. We'll be back next week.
Bye.
Caleb should be back, and we
Woo.
will deal with these shadowy sarcophagi figures.
Yay!
See ya.
Oh, they're shadow sarcophagi.
Oh,
They're-
gotcha.
Oh!
I read about
That's it.
these.
I know what the
Yep,
stat
you
block is.
studied them clearly.
Yeah.
All right.
Shadow
Bye.
sarcophagi.